Motherhoodsexmarijuana.com. Yes, indeed. Season 4. We back in the dough, and you better let us in. Oh, yes. Make sure you bookmark this site, motherhoodsexmarijuana.com. And of course, when you want to get some cute cannabis gear, you turn to shop.spreadshirt.com/MSM gear. Of course, we are having a sale at the moment, but by the time season 4 kicks in, we might not be having a sale. But either way, you should support. You should be checking out season 4, and you should be in the door with us, cause motherhood sex marijuana is back, bitches. Ha ha!
Hey ladies, 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 beautiful ladies, beautiful ladies. Hey ladies, 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 beautiful ladies, beautiful ladies.
Yo, to all the ladies in the place with style and grace, embrace the beauty beyond the frame, tickle the mind, stay
Let's
traced.
get it on. Yeah.
Hey, what's
Ah,
up?
hey.
What's going on? 419 up in the house. What's up, Mark?
Yo, what's up? How's it going?
Oh man, how you doing?
Not too bad, girl.
Sure, been glad to see y'all. Glad to get y'all in the building.
Definitely.
Doing happy to be here.
And thank you so much for the support. That's pretty dope. It brought a tear to
Yeah,
my eye, yo. I was like,
that's
man.
one of the reasons we damn sure are inviting you, because I mean the skits are hella cute. Mercine is just a ride or die. We love her, and,
Yes.
and shit. We had to get you on the show. Season 4
Good.
out the door.
This is amazing. Now, who's the cast? Who are responsible for all these voices?
Wait, what's going on? Mark? Oh, damn.
Yo, how's it going?
Oh, all right, cool. Just making sure he's still in the building. But
Yo,
yeah, we want to let's get a breakdown on the cast and everybody.
well, we got Stuart up here. Stuart was kind of new to town, and he I don't know. I have no idea what this is. What's going on?
Wait, what?
What are you ladies up to? I have no idea what I joined.
Well, we're here to talk about the show, for 419 show, and how much, you support our podcast.
So I think, are you all the voices and all the personalities
No, what personalities
on the show?
On the show.
on the show? Yeah, I haven't been on the show though. I mean, I have no idea what you're talking about, but I must look it up.
Are you okay?
Okay. There's some confusion going on, and I'm not understanding.
No,
Okay,
I thought, yeah,
because are you part of 419 show?
yeah. I haven't heard you before, and I thought,
You haven't heard of us, Motherhood Sex Marijuana?
oh no, different 421 show. Sorry.
Oh wow!
Wait, I'm confused as hell. So wait, you're not part of 419? Okay, I'm confused. What the fuck just went on here?
That's so crazy, dude.
I am so confused as to what the fuck is going on here.
What the fuck was that, dude?
What the fuck just happened?
That's
What the fuck just happened?
I have no idea.
Oh my god, wait a minute. Oh my God.
Block the video. There you go.
Oh my God. Hello,
Hello.
everybody.
Hello. Sorry, I had to get everything set up. Hello, how are you, Kai?
Oh my God, we're better now.
Awesome.
We have to start by explaining the fuckery that just happened just now. No, because apparently every episode that we have there must be some sort of you know what I'm saying? Because
What's up,
now,
y'all?
right? First of all, when I set up the link, I didn't ask you what time, if it was 2 hours back or 3 hours back. I just Googled, and Google said it was 2 hours. So I set it up thinking like, okay, yeah, I got this. And then, so when me and Ruby was on, we didn't see that you was on time. I'm busy trying to hit you up. And then of course, silly me sent the actual link to y'all on Twitter, and some random motherfucker.
Oh,
I tell you, a random person jumped on the line and started talking to us like he was you. And we started talking to him like he was you. And then all of a sudden he clicked off, and we sitting there like, what the fuck just happened?
I'm like,
to us
yo,
now?
we just got hacked, man. Someone
Like,
hacked.
what kind of fuckery just happened to us?
Yep.
The time zone thing, don't be mad. It's Arizona. We stay the same. So it's weird. We never change our time. So it's hard. It's up to everyone else to kind of, whoops, sorry, you guys are going to
Figure
have to
it
adjust.
You
Right?
gotta
Because
look up
right
there.
now,
Look up there.
we match with California, which is Pacific time. So if you Google
Okay.
Mountain time right now, it's going to tell you that it's an hour later than what it is. It's very wrong. You know,
Exactly, because
zones get me
literally,
messed
that's
up.
why I didn't ask y'all. Child.
Don't feel bad. It's during the winter, it's a different story. It's just right now during the summer, and that we're the same time.
So, Kai, Storm, Ruby Doll, this is Amanda Fenton. This is actually the real executive producer who pays for everything for 419, my wife. So that's why I wanted everybody to see.
What's up, Amanda? What's up, Michael?
Amanda used to be the voice of Amanda. And, you know, every time that Amanda was used in the show, and then eventually because work got heavier on her, she couldn't do it. So we used a replica voice, you know, in between. So I wanted people to be able to finally get to meet Amanda as well.
Oh,
Hell
of
yeah.
course. Thank you for being on our show, and thank you for being patient with us. Lord have mercy.
We should say the same. So no.
Yeah, for being patient with us. Thank
It's all
you.
good.
Yes.
Man.
And now we can officially start the show, Ruby. Motherhood Sex
Sex
Marijuana is
Marijuana,
actually in the building.
In
this
the
time.
house, yeah.
We're in the building this time.
Welcome in 419, our homies. We appreciate the support. You guys are so dope. Your shit brought a tear to my eye. I was like, oh my God, that's like real love right there. Good looking out.
It is. It's just, you know, I feel like as I'm doing this and as I'm growing and creating and getting more people to see the show and follow the show and become fans of the show, I don't want it to be just about the show. The show can grow on its own. It's a great idea. And, you know, I can eventually get other writers and do bigger things. It will happen as long as the determination is there, and it is. Okay. But why do it alone? You know, I'm not out to get rich right now off. That's not going to happen. That's a crazy thought. I'm not even put that in my head or let it bring me down, any kind of thing like that. I'm staying with the good vibes. So I thought the best way to do it is just find the coolest people on Twitter, the people that I want to see make it big, and put them in the show wherever I can. And of course, Motherhood, Sex, Marijuana, and then just incredibly great idea, man. So I had to put you guys everywhere I could. Yeah, in the show.
Oh, thank you guys
Oh my
so
God.
much.
We
Who's
are
our
so
homegirl in
happy
there?
about that.
Mercine?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yep.
Is it Mercine? And Kai talks about her a lot. And so
No,
shout
I
out
love
to
Mercy.
her.
I
Yeah.
love Mercy because Mercy said, anybody mess with Kai Storm or Ruby Doll, they going in the volcano.
Hell
Right?
yeah.
They're going in the volcano. Don't play with us. Don't play with them. Leave
Word.
them alone. I love it. Yes, indeed. So wait. So wait. And who does the voice of Marcine?
Oh, that's Replica Studios. And that's a funny thing. She is actually the character Hempress, the AI, the purple AI female. She is actually that voice, but called under interrogation. So she's always kind of like high pitched, like on edge with her voice. And I thought that was just hilarious to do it.
It's a voice program
Yes.
that has like a list of different accents, varieties.
Yes.
Of tone.
Wow.
And you pay $6 an hour
Correct, yeah.
basically for it. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
I want to let my voice on for one of y'all episodes. I have a
Do
sexy ass voice.
He wants that all the time. Please do. Please.
I
Because
do.
he wants real people other than recordings. I feel terrible that I'm just not available. And I feel bad because I know that
Yep.
he's on his time crunches. So when he needs something, it's like now, and I
But
work
not
at,
anymore.
not anymore. I work at a
Yeah.
call center. So I'm like, I got to check out mentally when I'm off work, and it's extremely difficult to
Yeah.
disconnect and check out. So
Getting her
yeah,
up to the
see, for
microphone.
something, I'm
is
like,
fine,
oh,
yeah.
I don't want
But using your voices, I've already thought of that. I've listened to both of you in your show. So I have already thought of that and thought about reaching out to you when the time is right, you know? And as
Good.
Amanda said, the time wasn't right, mainly because I was almost doing live animation. I was doing it and putting it right up. I mean, as soon as it was finished, as soon as I thought, even if it wasn't edited fully, I'd put it up for people to see, and that's crazy. Studios do a season, and then they put it out, however they put it out, you know? I'm looking up there. I should be looking over.
It's okay. They don't
That's
care.
how old I
It's all right.
am.
It's all good.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you on the TV, and I have the
It's
camera
best
over
to
here.
it's best to feel like you're doing eye contact, I feel.
Yes.
That's what I do.
That's it. That's what it is. So
It's all good.
So I
And
would do
honestly,
this.
we would love to have our voices on the show because
Hell
I
yeah.
mean the fact is, you know what I mean. Just let us know, and we will definitely make ourselves available. Because I would like to know, like, what was the concept behind starting this in the first place? Like what weed was you smoking that made you decide, you know what, I want characters to be talking about ganja. I mean, if I'm gonna watch cartoons, I'm gonna watch cartoons that's gonna entertain me. Oh, everybody's frozen.
Uh-oh. I don't know. No, there we go. I can
Oh,
see
we're
it.
back. We're back.
We're
Yay.
back. We were frozen. I know we were frozen. It's okay. Yeah.
You were saying,
I was
Go ahead.
saying, I don't know where I left off, but he's a very creative person. So at some point I knew he was going to come up with something that wasn't related to music. And he had already done something similar with the child idea, children's,
you can't give the name though.
I know, the children's concepts that he used with our daughters raising them. So
Yeah, I was going to do a show with our daughters. It's claymation, and they actually sang the song with me. But when it comes to creating 419,
Yeah.
it actually stems back to, I'd say, 15 years ago, man. I was playing a PC game with a guy that I thought was my friend. Actually admitted in his 12 steps he used me for 30 years. That's fun to find out. But anyway, we were
Fuck him
gaming
for that.
we were gaming on the PC, playing Quake online when it came out. I think it was like maybe between 10 and 15 years ago. And I was coming up with podcasts, you know, were coming out doing their thing. And I mentioned doing Crazy Talk 419. It wasn't animation. It was going to be a podcast with myself and his wife, who was a nut. And we were always stoned, playing this game online, talking crap. And that's what it was going to be. Just us talking crap, having fun, getting stoned while we game, you know? Well, life happened. Let's just say that. Worse for them, you know, she's serious problems, things like that. So anyway, that never happened. And then I decided right before COVID, I think it was 2018, to go to school for baking
yes.
because my youngest daughter graduated high school finally, and I was free. I raised the girls while she built a career. I was free. I can do whatever I want. I'm going to be a baker. I'm going to open Michael's Mad Munchies as a
we do
bakery
edibles. Yeah.
in South Florida. I'm going to bring it down to the boys, my band. They're all like 11 years older than me, you know? So I went to school 2019 to almost 2020. Then COVID hit and it shut the schools down and I couldn't finish, not that I needed it. So my dad had moved down to South Florida and he started here. I'll let you keep this lit. He started telling me about how the guys were doing. And my mentor wasn't feeling well. He goes to the doctor, finds out he has cancer. Like within a month later, he's dead. So that was him. So then they go, by the way, your bassist and your drummer both died within the year too. We forgot to tell you. I said, so basically everybody I'm going home for died of cancer. Wow. Cancer got them. I'm like, and nobody told me,
Not
nobody
COVID,
bothered, right?
COVID.
Oh, it wasn't COVID, it was during COVID. You know, it was right at the beginning. Those guys didn't even get it. You know? So I said, you know what? Everything that's happening in the world right now just is so just awful that, you know, that's where I went. I went dark completely. I just raised my daughter. I had nothing now. You know, I wanted to grow old with those guys. You know what I mean? It was a big plan. So I went completely dark. And during those times, you look for light. You know, you look for a light. I need a light. If I'm going to survive, I need that light. And I said to my buddy, I'm messing with this program, funny enough, called Crazy Talk. And I'm trying to podcast
Which
with
is really
you.
weird,
Yep.
because that Crazy Talk thing was a complete coincidence.
Yeah, that they named their program that, and it's like 3D but 2D. You know, it's flat. Okay, you don't see the depth, you will, in the program I use now. And I told my buddy Jeremiah, who games with me, I've known him for 10 years. I said, hey man, I want to do us bullshitting, and I'll make these silly little characters for us. And then we'll put them up, and that'll be an original podcast. It's animated, be like Beavis and Butthead, but doing a whole thing. You know? And as we did it, and they were longer, and I was looking at them, I started getting ideas for other characters, and I went, 419,
It evolved.
a minute away from where we all need to be. And he went, wow, that's really catchy. And
Definitely.
he goes, you should roll with that, man. And I went, well, I'm seeing these characters, this guy named Proprietor, and one made after my brother who just passed away when it, you know, so I go, but you know, he's gay, and I want Friend to be gay. I want him to be gay, but I want him to find out he's gay. I don't want it to be, you know, pushed in your face. I don't want nothing like that. I want it to be natural, like it was with my brother growing up with him. You know, it was beautiful. He found out who he was. He became who he was. You know what I
didn't
mean?
want to think about names, which
Right.
is why they went literal with
That's
the
right.
names.
That's right. I didn't want to
So
call them names.
Friend.
They kind of look like, you know, he kind of does look like
Yeah,
Patrick in a
that's
way,
really
you know. So that's where 419 came from. It was my light. And when I started doing that, Jer actually said to me, Jeremiah, I don't think 419 is going to catch on like Crazy Talk will. You know, I don't think we should do it as heavy. I think, and I said, well, your work, and I can't get your voice enough. You know what I mean? So I have to do 10 voices, and then Replica does another 10 voices or 12 voices. This is a lot of work, you know, and then I have to fight you to get your voice on time. I don't want to do that anymore. You know, let's just use yours casually. And I'm going to see what happens with 419 if people like it. So I put it out there, and I put it out there with the goal to show everybody what it did for me. Here is some light. Here is some light for you, man. You can get stoned and smile watching this show, man. That's what I want for you. I don't want you to have to pay for it. And I'm going to work hard and get better at it, you know, at every aspect, hopefully, so you really get into it, and we can work together, and I'll listen to you, you know, your ideas, and I'll implement them in the show. And this is what happened.
Yeah.
That's why it became what it is and where it is now, as you asked.
The
It's
1 minute skits came up, like, hey, what about we make something between the 419
18
and
to
the 420?
420,
That
right.
made a 1 minute skit.
Right.
So then he started doing 1 minute
I
skits.
have to give credit to Jeremiah to that. The name 1 minute skit and the idea to go from 419 to 420 was Jeremiah Faust. That was not me. That was not Amanda. The truth is, it's kind of like you're raising your children that you created, right? Because I have daughters, so I can kind of say that too. And I look down and I go, there's a text saying he wants to change something about my kids, like cut their hair.
No.
I love Jer, but I don't know if I want him cutting my kids' hair, man, you know? She said,
Genius idea.
she said, you really need to look at what that text says. And I took a closer look, and I went, I was being an idiot. This is genius. 1 minute skit leading you from 419 to 420. And that's how that came about. So there you go.
There's supposed to be a little clock too. I think we kind of lost that along
Yeah,
the
that
way.
got to be a
But
pain
there's
in the
supposed
butt.
to
you
be
know?
a clock
There
right
was,
there
yeah.
that's counting down from 419 to 420, which was super cool. But you know, it's
Hey,
hard.
there's an episode, there's some episode that actually is episode 4 and 5 of one of the skits. And it says episode 4 and episode 4 because I never changed the title. I just use the same one, even though it's a different episode.
So there's those.
All of that is genius.
Absolutely.
All of that is like seriously genius. I'm gonna tell you that right now. And the thing is, one of the things I got to give you props for is that the fact is that one of the things that we've been bumping into is that a lot of businesses have been created. A lot of things are being created, like have been created out of the pandemic. And it's just, and it's all about making other people feel good. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
our space was created literally to make it a safe space for anybody that is a pothead or is not a pothead to
Right.
come in and just be themselves. You know what I mean? And it's something that makes us feel good. It
Yeah.
definitely is something that we try to make others feel good. So the fact that you created, your niche out of, trying to get everybody else to feel good along with getting yourself to feel good is phenomenal. So we definitely big you up for that.
Yeah.
And it's
but
very brave.
I need to say on the genius thing, I was doing computer work while I was raising my daughters, and the man was building a career. And a woman said to me when I taught her how to copy and paste with, Control C and Control V, she said, "That's like magic. You're a genius. How can you? I mean, you program these computers, you do all this, but to do that, that's just like." And I went, "Listen." I said, "Let me explain something to you. The word genius is really just hasn't been done yet. It's out there. You want to write a book? You got a good book to write? Sit down and write it. Take the time to do it. It'll probably be awesome. It'll probably come out great. The reason that they don't get famous is they didn't sit down and write it, but they probably have that genius there. They probably have that. Everybody has that. So I don't consider 419 genius. It was there. It was there for anyone. You, Ruby Doll, you, Kai Storm, Amanda, anyone could have picked it up and done it. Really. I was just the one that did it that at the time I needed it. It saved my life, literally. It brought me back, man. Like I said, it's the light for me. So, that's now it's time to project, because that's what you do with light. You shouldn't hide light, you should project it. You know what I mean? And you guys are light. Motherhood, sex, marijuana, another form of light. Elevate Crate, another form of light. Blow One, another form of light. All these forms of light out there. Look at the baby's excited. And so 419, if we can, we help them see. Here they are, other forms of light for you.
Basically, to your point, when the world was at a dark place where people didn't really think much of mental health, including myself, it's amazing how it became a focus point, which I absolutely love. It made me a little bit teary-eyed every day for humankind, because you would come across these things on TikTok and Facebook and what people would do for one another, being locked up, giving little presents in people's houses. And me working remote now with a team of people, even big companies, mental health became a huge thing. So I was very pleased to see that someone was able to crawl out of that dark place, because coincidentally his dark place was during that same period, and make something amazing and have you guys and
everybody enjoy it. I like it. It's kind of freaky too. I will be honest with you. The people on Twitter are the ones that get me the most. They do. Because when people on Twitter started really watching it and responding and enjoying the shows and the skits, it's heartwarming. I'm standing behind my little desk with tears in my eyes, like just blown away. Like, this has to be done. This has to be done. I have to do, then the noise. I don't know if you can see, you probably can't. No, the booth over there that I built, but you've seen the pictures of it, I'm sure, the booth that I built for sound, because
yes,
my neighbors are neighbors, and I'm in, this is it. This is not much more, just a bedroom over there in the bathroom, the laundry area.
500
This is
square
it.
feet.
So it got to be, life itself is imposing on the show, and it may stop it because, I can't get my work done and I can't be rude to them. They need to be able to live. That's crazy, right? So what do? Bam, 419 TARDIS recording. So now I have no worries. There's no sweat anymore, man. I can keep rolling them out, and it's going to change.
keep finding solutions.
You might hear me singing. You might actually hear me do some singing now. It won't be like musicals. I don't do musicals, but
Hey,
you might actually hear
the fact that you were able to, build yourself a booth in order to create your art is a step towards your success. Seriously, let's be honest.
So, but
It absolutely is. And the fact is, that's how we feel. Honestly, that's how we feel when people pay attention to our stuff, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. Of course, we make sure and check the disrespect, of course. But whether we absolutely love when people are paying attention to our product and enjoying our product, you know what I mean? That's why when like I said, when we first bumped into the first clip of you having us, just having our logo in one of your skits, it was just like, wow, yo. And then and literally it doesn't, and to be honest, it doesn't even sound like it, when you're watching this, it don't really sound like it's a computer generated voice. I would think that it was just an actual person, but with just a little a little bit of a filter on the voice. You know what I mean? How
I do
on the face. There's a little bit of filter on the voice, and that's it. But good job, yo. Good absolute job in doing what you do. And thank you for keeping on doing that. Now, what does the future look like for 419?
It is right now looking extremely good because, like I said, with the vocals, and as I was going to say, you have them at the end of the show. I actually do give a lot of credit to whoever. I don't care if it's Weed Dude, from Twitter, that threw some vocals to me, Canna Claus. If you ladies throw vocals to me, the credits are going to be there because, I put everything up on IMDb, which means, if you ever create an account, your name will be there because I'm going to put it in, Everybody gets credit where credit is due. But I do put that in because I don't want everybody to think it's just me. I try to do, for example, the last show that's up right now, the Flintstones episode, that is almost all me, the voices, except for, of course, Mercine, the few of them. But that's almost all me. So that is a lot of fun to do. And the future, because of the booth, is looking very bright.
So are you saying that you're going to be using more of your silly
Yes.
voices?
Actually,
I need him to be.
I want to do more than just
He's
voices.
crazy. He comes up with some. You guys don't even know.
I want to do sounds too.
He walks around and comes up with crazy stuff. He has me laughing all day long. So I want him to bust out of his shell when it comes to the voices that he can do and his silliness.
Yeah.
I definitely have checked out a couple of episodes. So just the storyline alone is, I can imagine, is a lot of work. Never mind everything else that you put into it. You know what I mean?
And I want to shout out Amanda, because Amanda, you're giving Michael too much credit, because had it not been for your influence and your support,
that's
he may have not, and I think he was wise to mention you from the very beginning and to have you part of this conversation. Yeah, and especially because it's called Motherhood, Sex, Marijuana. How do you, I just need to know something. How do you keep your sex life sexy with it, within your home and your schedule?
Oh,
it's pretty easy. She's got a pretty big butt.
Yeah. Okay, so I can't stand up right now because the pants that I'm wearing are see-through, like really. So I really can't show you, but let's just say that.
Wait, who says?
Kim Kardashian paid for the body that I have, so he's very spontaneous. It happens all the time. The booty. Yeah.
Yep.
As it should. A married couple should be jumping on each other on a regular basis, so that you have no reason to be checking his DMs to see any pics in there, because it's like, what? He good over here. He good over here.
That's funny. I hadn't thought about that. I don't think anyone that's even crossed my mind. I never look at his stuff. Never pick up his phone.
It's because when something happens to me, I go to her with it. I take it right.
Okay. You know how he said earlier that he used to do computer work for people? Well, one of those ladies accidentally sent him her vagina, and he just absolutely tripped out. He's like, I need my mom right now.
Wait. No. You not, no, we're not going to slide past that.
No
Because
unsolicited gifts
because
or pussy
in my
too.
entire life, no, I am 50 of the years of the age, okay? And in my entire sending pictures of my pum pum life, I have never,
That one accidentally.
I have never sent one on accident. No,
That's right. So I
she
said to
said it
her,
was an accident because she didn't want to get beat down. But
Oh
we
Lord,
we
this is
not.
a goal.
we not.
That was on purpose.
"What's your response?" Which gets me every time.
What?
Yeah, it
What
was
did
so the most polite thing you could say when this happens, right? Because she's not around. I can't get a hold of her, and this woman sent me, and it's on my phone, and I'm going, man, this is so wrong, right? I got to tell my. So I was talking to my mom at the time, and I called her. I was like, "Mom, this woman sent me a picture of herself, man. I'm freaking out, right? What do I do?" She's like, "Be honest about it. Does it bother you?" Yeah, it does. But I have to. So Amanda looked at it and she goes, it's tasteful.
Hey, you know what I mean?
I love
There's
Amanda.
tasteful and there's
It
nothing.
was. It wasn't crude. It wasn't crude.
Told him
you
be
know?
flattered.
Right.
Reach out to her and say,
Nonetheless, it was unsolicited. And ladies
When
who's
was
watching this, you should ask permission. You have to like warm
Yes.
up to it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Motherfuckers have to want to see your pussy for you to
Yeah.
send it. Don't be just sending it out like that, bitch. What?
yeah.
I mean, it's just like a dick pic. I mean, we've talked about it before because as females, people will randomly send some funny things in the DM, and it's like, sir.
To me, a dick pic is like when a cat brings you a dead bird or something.
Yeah, like,
Like you think you're bringing me something that I want to see, and I don't want to see it.
I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
Like, I know it has to
ever told
exist,
you I wanted
but-
to see that.
Yeah.
They
I want
lied
to see it.
But
I want to see it hitting my G spot. That's where I want to see it.
Thank you. I need to see it on a damn phone.
Right.
Oh, how funny.
See, I'm lucky I don't get anything like that. So
Yeah.
I had when I joined certain accounts once in a while, like I think it was Cannabuzz and one of the other ones, I joined up just to a little advertising here and there. And then someone would come to me and hit on me randomly. It's rare. And no, thank you. I'm married. Then one was very bold and said, "I don't care. I live close enough. If you're in Phoenix, I'm in like Tucson or something. Just hook up." I'm like, "Did you hear me? I'm happily married. And look at all the stuff she's done for me. What kind of creep would you? And you'd want me? You want that kind of man?"
Well,
There's many red flags going on right now. I don't even want to be chatting with you. And I told her, I always tell her, I go, look at this chat. It's terrible.
I don't even look. It doesn't bother me. Humans are gonna be humans.
But I'm honest to a
It's
fault.
how
I'm honest
you
to a
handle a
fault.
situation that matters, and
Absolutely. And good on you. If you know what, I'm gonna say something regarding polyam people. Just because you're polyam does not mean the world is polyam, bitch. So if someone tells you honestly that they're married, just respect that, because if they were cool with it, then it'd be going down. You know what I mean?
Correct.
But I think that we do need to say that narrative because see, Kai's more on the she's monogamous and she takes that seriously, and I respect the shit out of her for being able to do that. Yeah. I'm not polyam, but I've had to realize that I can't be hollering at everybody. In fact, I will be causing more harm than I would, you know what I'm saying? Especially when someone makes it clear, like, yo, I don't get down like that.
Yep.
That's right.
So,
that's
yes.
right. Yeah.
And that's why and conversations have to go down.
Yeah.
That's how you talk.
Absolutely.
I try to be as polite as I can, at first. And then I'll just block after.
I mean, the fact is, I'm going to go ahead and say it too, that there's a rarity of not just men, but men and women that, you know what I mean, that will, if they're in a commitment, will write out, say they're in a commitment and really establish it that like that's it, that's the line, we're not crossing it. You know what I mean? I mean, you could tell yourself just based on, the society that we live in, social media, you see it on a regular basis, the music, promotes the side link,
Yeah,
side
right.
chick, side whatever, you know what I mean?
TV with
All of that
romance,
is
right.
definitely promoted in our society big time. So to have a man or a woman just blatantly be like, no, no, none of that, and it's a wrap, and I'm gonna block you, and
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
do it. You know what I
Hey,
mean?
more power.
We've been together.
So proud of you for doing that. And then on top of the fact, we let's just go into a little bit about you. So how long have y'all been married?
23 years.
I don't know, 98?
Yeah. I don't
Well,
know.
okay, we've been together since 98.
And then we were.
Oh
we were
man,
actually-
wait, what's the date today? Tomorrow's our
Today is
anniversary.
August 7th, honey.
Tomorrow
there
is
you
our
go.
anniversary.
Tomorrow's our
2022.
anniversary.
It could be today. We
I
do
think
that
it's
every year.
today. I
We
don't
never
remember.
get it right. It
It's
could be today.
either the 7th or the 8th. It's been 23 or 24
It's too bad I
years.
deleted that vagina pic. She sent it on her anniversary.
Okay, anyway. Yes, it's been
She was giving it as a gift to both of y'all.
2.5 decades.
Yeah, 2.5. Yeah. We raised 2 incredible daughters. We did.
Awesome.
Paris, Paryss, and Zoe, Zoe. Yeah.
Beautiful names. And
Yeah.
how old are they?
Paris is 23. She'll be 24 on the 13th of September, and Zoe is 21 and became a mom in April.
Found out
Oh
like a
my
week before.
She did not know she was pregnant this whole time, and I went to the gym with her and stuff. And
Mhm.
I don't want to butcher the name, but we have a condition where, you know, cysts get in the way with movement and stuff. So she just thought that she was going through one of her things, and
Yeah. It was
she went
a
to the
miracle.
hospital on 4/20 because she said the pain was bad. I'm like, okay, now that I'm thinking about this, I'm like, you gotta go. Like, you gotta go like now.
Yeah,
You keep saying that you're constipated. I'm like, nope, I know what labor pain feels like. And you're kind of describing it to me.
Yep.
So I need you to get to the hospital.
Wow.
They were Braxton Hicks on 4/20. But then on 4/24, she woke up. She's like, all right, yeah, this ain't Braxton Hicks. This is the real deal.
Yep.
She
Wow.
made it till about 10 centimeters dilated, and then formed an infection. So of course they did an emergency C-section.
Yep.
By the time I said bye to her till I got in my car downstairs, he was born.
Yeah. Healthy,
And
very
he's
healthy.
absolutely gorgeous.
Just amazing. So you
You'll
find
see
out
him
you're
on his
pregnant, a
Twitter.
week later you have a baby.
Yeah.
Wow,
I
that's
mean,
so
that
lucky.
is like, oh my God.
It's
She's
like,
so
oh my God.
lucky.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
Healthy, strong, because
He's
like mom,
beautiful.
she's healthy and strong. So, you know, that's why
And
that happens.
As a
Congrats.
grandmother, like, I can truly tell you that the love for that child, I might as well have just given birth to him myself. It is that unbelievable. It is
Yeah.
that powerful.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
She sees him every day.
I
almost,
see him
yeah.
every single
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, she's
all day
working
long.
for me.
I love him.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm here with the dogs doing animation, and she's there with the baby, and you know, doing work for, well, I don't know if I'm gonna say home warranty company. There, I'll say that.
To piggyback though off of monogamy and the commitment, it is a decision, and it's
Yeah.
very hard work.
Yep.
I'm
Not for
always
me.
addicted to Married at First Sight, and that whole conversation of love is a decision. It absolutely is.
With me, I grew up a musician in South Florida. I was a very heavy young man, very heavy all my life, and very insecure. I mean, all my life. So I was like 15, right, till 16, 17. And then I worked for construction
So
with a buddy, and then suddenly became this thin, blonde guy in South Florida that had vocals, right? And my friend saw this and said, hey, let's build with this. Let's get him out there. Let's show him off, you know? And this is in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And they called me Mikey. That was my nickname. In the band, I was called Little Cow because I drank too much milk.
Oh,
And he
wow.
said, Brant said, my mentor said, no one should drink that much milk unless they're a baby cow, man. So I'm calling you Little Cow, okay? So, you know, down there, that's what happened. And what I would do is I knew one day I was going to get married, and I didn't want to have to deal with what I know every other man I'm seeing, older or not, my mentors is dealing with, infidelity and things like that, and the decision whether they want to make it or not. I really don't ever want to deal with that. I'm not that type of guy. Sex isn't that important to me. It's when it's the right time and with the right person. Okay. So I want to explore
Mhm.
with every type of woman safely. My brother actually was HIV, so I knew to be safe. Okay. But I wanted to explore with every type of woman as a musician as I could. So when I became married, I wouldn't have that. Have to sow my wild oats.
He was a hoe.
So one
It
day,
happens to the best of us. Some are
Yeah.
still
One day-
hoes.
I mean,
That's good. That's good. He got all that.
let's
One
keep it
day-
real. You gotta hoe a little in order
Hey.
to save it. I'm just saying. You
I
gotta
didn't-
hoe a little,
I
and
did
then you
not-
go, oh, I don't want to do that anymore.
I got the perfect end result, so
Yeah.
it's all good.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
she
That's
knew
what's up.
immediately. She actually hated the fact at first why I won't cheat on her. She couldn't stand that fact. She said, she would tell people, she'd go, it's because of his damn honor, not because he loves me, but see, it ties in. The honor also ties in the fact I love you. So, you know, it is there. That's why. But
I was 18 when I met him, you guys.
I was
I'm
not.
42 right now, so he's 9 years older than me. So, you know,
Almost 10.
growing up together in a sense and staying in love. And
We grew up. That's all. We
Yeah.
grew
Ah,
up. You know what I
beautiful.
mean? We
I
had some,
courted her.
you
I
know,
courted her.
some funny ideas, and then we
Oh my
realized they
God.
were funny ideas. That's what
Yeah.
happens.
Hey, I was a musician. She'd seen me with the band occasionally before, you know, we ended up having children and everything. And she never had to worry, even as a bartender. I don't think you ever had to worry.
oh, I never worried.
Yeah, never worry, because they're not coming. No one's coming home with me. I'm coming home to you and the kids after work, unless my buddy John's drunk and we got to stop at Walgreens and spend $200 of my tip money because he's drunk and he needs to eat everything in sight.
You guys
Oh
just
my
asked how
God.
long we've been
No,
married.
no,
I'm
not
sorry.
$200 at Walmart.
No, actually, it was Walgreens.
It was Walgreens.
Walgreens.
Yeah, a little store on the corner.
Oh,
Yeah.
no,
Our
not
Walgreens
$200 though. Not
Because he was
$200.
drunk. Oh, I would make, as a bartender, I would pull in probably, and this is a small town. This is Ocala, Florida. I'm sure you've heard of it. John Travolta, you know, lives right near Anthony, Florida. So I would make probably on the weekend nights about $1,000 Friday, $1,000 Saturday, maybe on Friday. Let's see. So maybe about $2,500 by the time the weekend was over. He would spend how about 500 of it at a Walgreens because he was drunk every time. His sister owned the bar.
Oh my
It's
God.
how it worked, man. It's how it
you
worked. I
can
would take him
spend-
home. We'd get drunk. He'd buy a bunch of
You
crap.
can spend
We'd go-
crap, yeah. Spent a lot. Of
And it
stuff
was
like that.
crap. This guy bought crap. Let me tell you anything, didn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Okay, that was
Walgreens.
fun.
What the fuck is
Now,
going to
mind
be in
you,
Walgreens for $200 though?
This is
Maybe 500 between both nights.
Yeah.
So Friday
Oh my
night,
God.
Saturday night.
and this is the guy that I
Absolutely.
came up with crazy talk with at the very
Because it
beginning.
was all food. It was
this is
all-
the crazy guy.
Yeah, it was all food. It was
Mhm.
all food and snacks, and then the random item that he would get. I don't know. Sometimes it would be an electronic or something stupid.
Oh
Like a
my
pizza.
God.
You know, something crazy. But
Sorry, we went off with the family thing, but yeah.
Oh,
You
no,
gotta
it's
do it.
all good. We love it.
Yep. Might as well let people know where it all came from,
right,
right?
I love it.
Where did it come from, right?
my
So-
shirt keeps writing up.
I don't think they're gonna care.
How
So,
often do you
anyway,
record?
I have to say, with
Wait, what
I'm
happened?
sorry.
What?
I'm sorry.
Oh, how often do you record?
Ooh, when I'm into it, man, I am recording nonstop. I'll try to push the skits out in a day or two at the beginning of the week, maybe even like Sunday, Monday. And then Monday and Tuesday, I will spend the entire day recording if I can. And then in the evening, editing. And that's the time, I guess you'd say, because I'm
Sure, that's a word we can use.
because you're standing with the headphones on and you're trying to catch every mistake you've made. You're hoping you catch every mistake you've made. Half the time I don't catch them. So I get
very
it's
frustrating.
for me, yes, it's the most frustrating aspect of making the show is editing the audio. So at that point, that's it. And that's main recording time, but it is 2 days and it's pretty much the full 2 days from I'll work 9 to 5 just in that booth now.
No,
it'll be
it's not. It's 12. It's 12, 13 hours
It
at the
might
end of the
be.
day.
Yeah, because I never stop.
I can understand it because I'm the editor of our show, you know, so trust and believe, you know what I mean? Sometimes things get missed and it's like, hey, fuck it, man. I was smoking, I was tired, I let it the fuck go. The
I
fuck,
think that's a
you
beauty
know?
in that.
That's
You
what I
know?
want.
Yeah,
He
but I
needs
Yeah.
get
to
really
go. He
Orson
doesn't.
Welles.
He gets
Yeah.
very like,
I get obsessed with it,
Ugh.
man.
it's hard to get him to let go with some of these things.
Yes.
I'll put it that way.
Yes, I will. And I say that a lot when I talk to people about it and they ask, that's why I relate so much to Orson Welles. Look, I'm not him. That guy, when it comes to genius and creativity, he's so far beyond me, but he had the time to do it in. So that's kind of unfair as well. He didn't have to deal with the internet and all the competition
Yeah,
that's out
you
there.
can't compare it. You probably are
Right.
just as genius as he is.
But the thing is, I understand listening to, I think it was Rita Hayworth, might have been, he was married to, but how he was so obsessed once he started working. And that's me. I understand when writers start typing and they know, okay, so no one just leave me alone because I'm going to be here for hours on end finishing this novel. And if you stop me, I could get writer's block. I'll stop for like a week. I don't want to stop. I just want to keep going until it's finished. I have the idea. Let me keep going. So with my show, that is exactly how it gets sometimes. I'll even write like a few of them and then look back and forget. You literally, you're going,
That's the weed.
that's the weed.
That's
Well,
the
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
what the hell did I write? What is this that I'm reading,
The reason I laugh, ladies, is because okay, so we have this room, and then you have a middle section, which is the kitchen. Then you have another little section, which is the restrooms and vanity area. And then you have the bedroom back there.
Right.
I really hear nothing back there from outside, but I will hear him right in here. And he talks to himself throughout this whole process. And this is why I
Yes.
laugh, because he'll sit there going, what the fuck? Wait, what? Where? Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm going to have to do this all over again. What did I just do? What did you just do? Oh my God. Click, click, click. It's just things happening. And that's all I hear.
The dogs go running out of the room.
That's fucking hilarious.
Oh, trust and believe. We have similar moments like that because like I'll come up with an idea because first of all, I live in New York. Ruby lives on the West Coast, and because I'll have an idea and I'll just immediately text her, be like, "Hey, Queen, listen, we should do this." Da, 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 da. And then after I hit send, and I'll be like, "Wait a minute, it's 9 o'clock in the morning here. That means it's 6 o'clock in the morning at her house. Ooh, it's too early."
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, she'll understand. She knows it's such a.
Of course.
You know what I mean? But it's like I have to do that. I literally have to do that in order for me to not forget the idea. And 9 times out of 10, if I do forget, I'll refer back to the text like, "Oh yeah, I did say that." I told
See,
her.
thank God for that.
I
I
told
feel
her
that I've
that,
gotten
yes.
lazy with memory though. I thank God for texts and things like that, but it's made me lazy.
Well,
Because I'm like, I know I don't have to remember it now. But maybe it doesn't make you lazy. Maybe it allows
listen,
you
I know with
time to
me
remember
and the
other
things
stuff.
you see me do,
Right.
good girl. With the things that happen with me, it's because another studio would go, why don't you just use a storyboard, man? Why don't you just throw, a board up and throw your ideas up there each time you're doing one of your shows? And I'd go, at that point, I probably would have said at the beginning, because that means that I have to do a bunch of shows and then air them like you do.
It's fun.
And I didn't want to do that. You know what I mean? I wanted to get them out as soon as possible to see if people like them, to get the ideas out there. And now there's 2.6 seasons and people like them. And they're
Oh,
out
yeah.
there. So I'm going, okay, now I can do it. Now I can do the storyboard. Now I won't be looking at my script going, wow, this was a great idea. I wrote this. I don't remember writing this. This is a great idea. Wow, what a great story. I don't remember.
That's
writing this shit at all.
inspiring.
Yeah, I do it a lot, man. I write stories and I go, oh, Jer, Jer, I'd send thank you word. I have to say thank you for being there for me because Jer would say in the text, use your fucking word, Mike. Use word. Not only is your spelling horrendous because you're typing too fast to get this script out, right? Your idea out. It's like you're typing.
The dog moved the camera.
Yep, you're typing way faster, or way slower than you think. You know what I mean? And it's coming out all different. It's not right. He goes, but half the time you send me a script and it doesn't make sense. And I go, yeah, I haven't edited the script. Yeah, I kind of just did a rough draft and sent you, this is what you're supposed to do. Read this for me. So I would actually get a read back from Jer. That was pretty good for bloopers, actually. That would say his line, and then something at the end of his line saying, Mike, you need to use fucking Word or learn how to spell, because this is really annoying. I have to go over these lines like 30 times just to get them done for you. It's like 3 hours here just reading this stupid shit. Why don't you just take the time and proofread? Wouldn't you say? Yep. So I went, okay, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to buy Word.
No, he could. He still starts though, because I'll hear you. I'll hear you in the background doing, reading out loud what you've written.
Well,
I'm good.
I'm dyslexic.
Too high right now.
I didn't find out I was dyslexic until I was 47, and I'm 52 this month. And I was reading a computer screen of an older gentleman who's in his 80s, and I've known him and his son for a long time. And he looks at me, and he goes, hey, so how long have you been dyslexic? It's an old, like, you know, maybe New York guy or something. I forget. He's an old Jewish gentleman. I loved him to death. And he said, how long? And I go, what are you talking about, man? I'm just fixing your computer. Leave me alone. I'm kind of stoned right now. I'm zoning out. And he's like, Michael, how long have you been dyslexic? It's really neat watching you, because you start way over here, man. And then you correct your eyes and you go over here and you start reading. And I said, I guess I've been since right now, because I didn't know I was dyslexic, right? So he said, I teach children that have dyslexia. I teach children how to read properly, you know? He goes, so I saw your eyes immediately and knew this is what's wrong. So that's one of my problems. When she's actually watched, what did I type? Sir Burgers?
He'll type things backwards. I'm like, wait, what are you doing? Because if whatever he types is on the big TV in front of us, guys.
Yes.
We have big.
Yeah, what you're on right now.
We have two TVs.
You look awesome, by the way.
Yes. And I can see as he's typing live, so I'll see it happen to where it's random.
So I was typing burgers. She said, do a search for burgers on DoorDash. And I typed burgers, but on the screen, it came out Sir Burger or something. It was almost spelled perfectly backwards, you know? And she almost fell on the floor laughing. She couldn't believe it. She said, I watched you type that. I watched the letters come across the screen as you type, and I thought, wow, what the fuck are you typing? Like, you know, what are you having a stroke as you're typing? Is that how this works?
Yeah, it was
you know, 3
or 4 things that were inverted that if it would have been that keyboard thing, it would have been all of them. So I knew it wasn't the keyboard thing.
It was me.
Definitely him.
Yeah.
So.
So yes, now you know why when
now
they text me that. The good thing is now that I have Word, guys like We Dude and you know, Santa Claus, Santa Claus, I let just kind of throw me something. And that was cool because when I asked him to give me, like you mentioned, you'd let me use your voices, which is awesome. And we will work on that.
Hell yeah. Whenever you're ready, we just
I'm
let us know.
always
We
ready.
will figure it out.
So, but Santa Claus, he sent that stuff that's in the Comic-Con, man. He was so natural. It was like 2 recordings. I picked which one I thought was cooler, you know, because I think he figured the same as well. And then I sent Weed Dude kind of a script because it was Weed Dude's part in the Western was actually an important part that I think Charlton Heston did in one movie. And all of these older guys throughout the history of Westerns would do these scenes where there's always a rancher. That's the older man that's respected and honored. He's the good guy. You know, he takes care of his wife and the ranch and the boys. And if you stop by, everything's neutral. So if you're bad guys or good guys, it doesn't happen here. You leave that shit outside. You come here, you get a night's sleep, we'll take care of your horses, you ride out. And that's how it works. So I threw this type of thing to Weed Dude and I said, what I always do if I ask you to cut me a line is I say, here's the direction. This is not set in stone. This is what I see the character kind of saying. Okay. So this is your direction. These lines I'm giving you. You go from there. And Weed Dude was, man, I heard his second one. I was like, no wonder this guy's getting famous in Hollywood now and shit. I mean, his was that, wasn't it?
First of all, this Weed Dude guy, and sorry if we go off topic for a minute, but this Weed Dude guy was randomly on Twitter one day and said something about going and auditioning. And this one tags the people involved when it comes to.
It's a coincidence completely. You can't take credit for this kind of thing, but it was the coolest coincidence. So he made me the stash box. The 4 nights, let me grab it here. Okay, I'll just get the link. There we go. He made me this, you know, that's my stash box. Okay. He made it. He sent one for the contest winner too. He didn't charge me anything. He was
Yeah,
really
that's
cool.
super cool.
Wow, that's
And
nice.
he decided he was going to go and look for a role as an extra on the show. Just, you know, one of the people that walk in back or something. He's a biker guy. He's going to do that. So he said he wanted to do it on a Stallone show. So what I did was I tagged Sylvester Stallone on Twitter. And I said, hey, Sly, why don't you do me a solid, man? Why don't you hook Weed Dude here up with, you know, the job he wants as an extra? I think it was within
the next day.
The next day he got the job, man. And I looked at Amanda and I went, that's the craziest shit I've ever seen. Because I know it, you know, there's no way Stallone. I mean, maybe it's a chance in hell.
Yeah,
I mean,
You Hollywood now.
it's
Who knows?
weird, you know?
Either way, it was a cool experience.
It was.
Then
It was
he
a
went,
very
he
cool
auditioned,
coincidence.
he
That
got
is
it.
freaking awesome.
And
Yeah.
now he's auditioned again for other stuff.
And
And
he's
he's going to
getting-
be on this Amazon show. So I
Yeah,
was like,
he
wow.
has speaking roles now. So he's actually really good. So
Okay, we gonna blow up, Queen.
That's a cool story. Yeah.
Hey, not for nothing. Not for
With
nothing. A
you
lot of
guys too.
these celebrities do actually pay attention to their own social media. Some of them, I mean, yes, some of them do have, you know, PR people that managed, you know, DMs and things of that nature. But no, some of them actually do pay attention. So, you know, fuck around. You Slide probably saw it and was like, who the fuck is this?
And that's
What's
exactly
going on here?
there you go.
Find
That's
out
what I
what's
did.
going on here. Find out if this is something for
Exactly.
real. Or why I'm being tagged. What the hell?
I came
And
in
y'all, I
oh
wanna.
my God, he did it for you.
That'd be so dope. And you know what, y'all? I'm gonna have to slide you some music too, because I've been making some music. And you can, you know,
Oh,
go ahead and incorporate some of
What's his
that.
weak
Kai
spot?
I'm waiting for Kai to get on the mic with me.
See,
We gotta get on our little, do our
see,
little salt and pepper thing.
Ruby is the music of our podcast. She tries to get me to get in because sometimes, you know, I be having some slick shit to say. I ain't gonna
Hell
lie, I be having
yeah.
some slick shit to say.
Oh, hey,
But,
yeah.
but no, that's all Ruby. That's all Ruby.
That would be so awesome. Now give it a shot. You never know. You might love it.
I've had other people. Like there was one really, man, this band was professional, and they came to me to follow their site, but you know, never offered music. And I thought, well, that's a shame because man, I would totally showcase in any way they want their music. As I have your show, I would put it either like say on a giant screen with a concert, you know, do facsimiles of them if they wanted, the best I could anyway, you know, or just do the thing. But you know, and they can do anything they want as long as it were within reason. I wouldn't do a gory stuff. I think I wouldn't go too far with things like that. There's certain things that if I don't want to see it, I'm not going to put it in my show, you know, so things like that. But you know, everybody's got their thing. It's cool. I just don't want it in my show, you know. But I really, really love music. I mean, it was my first thing. It was my whole youth growing up. It's my whole world. It's how I started. So I want to help musicians. Anybody that makes music, I want to help. If you want, I've even put it out there. If someone wrote something with 419 about 419, like watch the show, I would totally use it, give them credit, and just over and over again. You know what I mean? 100%. So you know, whatever you have that you want to showcase of yours, however you want to do it, Ruby Doll, I would absolutely do it and love to work with you. Absolutely.
Michelle, thanks, guys.
100%. Yes.
I have different personas. I'm a Gemini, and I've also embraced like my different personalities. And I like to joke around that I'd be, you know, in any kind of board meeting in one afternoon and smoking and sipping on a 40 with the homies, and this, you know, later on that evening. It's versatility, right? And so each one of my little projects, I have a whole name attached to it.
Right.
And so my music name is Rue the Gypsy because of my gypsy spirit.
Nice.
And because I'm just carefree that way. You know, I've always
awesome.
Identified with, I've also been homeless a couple of times. And so, you know,
it's like a
it's
musical
deeper
nomad.
meaning. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
you know.
or transient, because I am the home is what I've come to realize.
Have you always
love
been in
that.
the Seattle area, Ruby?
I'm
Did
in
you grow
Oregon
up-
right now.
Oh, you're in Oregon right now.
Yeah, I left Seattle about a month ago and I'm not turning back.
We've left and never turned back a couple of places.
Yeah.
We get you.
Yeah.
We can totally
We actually
relate.
left the United States once
Yeah,
for a
we
couple of
did.
years and thought we weren't going to come back. So,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, that's why you're so fucking cool, because
Yeah.
you're universal. You're not limited to this matrix and an even tighter matrix called America.
Right?
Well, plus, and you mentioned homelessness. I have, I've been there. I've seen both. I've lived
So has
both ends of
Kai.
the spectrum. So I completely get it. Amanda has never been homeless, but Amanda has felt poverty, has felt wanting to get food. She's felt that, even though she worked, in her life when she was younger. So she's felt that, but she's also seen her family where some of them, she has to take the dogs for a walk real quick, but Amanda's
Do your thing, mama.
family were actually, she had oil people in her family in a part. So she had seen very big money, Hamptons, very big money, and I had seen it too and lived it, but it was never me. It was never Amanda. The thing that when I met Amanda, it was because of who she is, who you see sitting here. It's because she's so real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what I get you when you say like living from homeless to, and it goes into what you do. So if you're using it as Gypsy, and that's your persona for your music, I get it 100% because I've been there. I lived in my car in South Florida to play music with a band. Cop pulled me over. I was on my way to Ocala, Florida, and he searched my car, found a joint, and all my clothes were in my car in the back seat. All my clothes, everything I owned was in the back seat in the trunk. But I lived in that car. I was homeless, and when I went to court, that's actually how I got out of trouble. Because I looked at the judge and he goes, "Why were you sitting back there with that joint?" I said, "Well, if you were homeless living in your car, wouldn't you be smoking a joint?"
Hello. Like, sir, I need something to relax my mind. It is not my. What's the problem, sir? Have I killed anybody? Have I robbed anyone? I am sitting here minding my business.
Yep.
And smoking my joint. I don't know what happened, but you off camera.
No, Amanda, can you see? No, okay. Oh, let me see.
Can you hear us?
I couldn't. Hold on. We're not back yet.
No.
Well, the dog's off mic, so I don't know how long we went on.
There's a nice picture of y'all
I'm
though.
new to this. There it is.
Yeah, definitely is.
I am new to this, so all I had to really do is get up and hit the little button.
There you go.
And I'm not looking at me up there. I'm looking at you, so I'm not really paying attention if anybody can see me,
Hey, listen, technology, you know how that go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yes, because I have a computer repair place, and if someone called me about printers, I would go, "Don't call me about printers."
One of the things I wanted to say is definitely that based on how things are going, based on, what's on TV right now, because first and foremost, if you look at a lot of what's going on TV as far as like cartoon characters or adult cartoons and whatnot, 419 definitely falls in that level. You know what I mean? Like that's definitely something that could be seen on TV. I myself the other day, me and my husband was sitting here, and first of all, we don't even watch South Park. I've never liked South Park or any, you know what I mean? Back in the day, I would always switch to something like The Simpsons or anything other than South Park. But the other day, I'm talking about just a couple of days ago, we accidentally happened to see like 2 episodes. Was it 2? No, it was 1 episode of South Park where the whole thing was dedicated to marijuana. It was like the fields was marijuana and everything in the town was about marijuana. And they were trying to lock up the dude that ran the farm, and it was just like, and I was just sitting here like, wait a minute now, Like this right here is a tad past any kind of level of but it's on TV like that. Why? Because marijuana is now a very, very popular conversation.
Yes.
So honestly, my question to you is, have you thought about trying to put it on TV? Or we just gonna rock YouTube until YouTube cuts us a check? Because honestly, that's one of the things we doing. We trying to get a check from YouTube first.
The residuals, yes.
Yeah.
With me, it is about. I did do the Hulu ad, so the show did have for 1 week on adult, whatever adult things. I didn't get to see it. I made it. Never saw it. I watch Hulu and have ad Hulu, ad supported. But it was up, and I guess about 15,000 people saw the commercial for it. My website went up. They also saw some people. It got out there. We found out that the folks that regulate marijuana in the state of Arizona were talking about my show in the office through one of their daughters that my wife met at the gym. So that was really weird, because when you start hearing about something you're doing through, just hearsay around you, it's just strange at first. You don't expect it, I never wanted myself to be big, only the show. So when I hear you talk about the show, I get excited. I get happy. I start freaking out. I'm walking in my gym and I hear someone say, "Is that the 420 guy?" I'm thinking, "No, I'm the 419 guy," but that's still pretty damn close and very good. You know what we're talking about,
Right.
And then Amanda's in the spa and here's a young girl mention a show about a dispensary, an animated show. And she says 419. And my wife goes, "Wait, did you just say 419, like about an animated dispensary on YouTube?" And she said, "Yes. My mother works for the state, Arizona marijuana regulation, and all they do is talk about that show all day long. They love that show."
Oh, I love it.
And
That is
my wife,
big.
Amanda, did not believe her at first. She was like, "I don't mean to call you a liar, but this is almost unbelievable that I'm hearing this." So if I could get it onto TV, if I could get it, I would not do it as others. That's my thing. See, that's the thing. And that's why if it doesn't happen, that's exactly why. I'm not going to let them buy me out. I'm not going to let them make me change my show. I don't know if you've seen what's been happening with Rick and Morty, and I like Rick and Morty, but I don't know if you've seen what's happened since they made the bigger money. And now he can buy his almond farm in California for $10 million. His show is so crazy. It's the same thing that happened to South Park once the movie came out. It just, to me, at one point, these guys decide they're going to go so far. Do you know that the Flintstones was the first animated adult show, and they didn't have to go far? They kept it like the Honeymooners. I mean, he didn't threaten to pal Wilma right to the moon or nothing, but, it was based on that type of family, like Simpsons. It was the first. It was played at night. It was played so long, it's insane. It's still played on like Boomerang and things like that. Okay, the Flintstones was it. They're the ones that started it for me. That was it, man. I got to see Barney, and that's what Roach sounds like. Barney Rubble, I'm talking like this. Right. So he's kind of got, and that was supposed to be a John Travolta character. So that happened because of Barney, because of the Flintstones. So when I look at it shows out, I look at right now, what do I watch, man? I want you to kind of watch what I watch. I want to turn you on. If you're my friend, I want to turn you on to a cool show, right? So I hope it's played on TV. I hope it's, I don't know if I ever want a movie. I hope it's, somewhere where everybody can see it on any platform. Okay. But it comes from, it'll always come from, we're never going to go too far. We're never going to go too far. And my example right now would be like, it's off the air now, King of the Hill. They built a family, they learned. You see these crazy hillbillies from Texas, and they're learning about family and how to be good to each other and other people. And that's the way the world is. This is how we live. That was it. Okay. Then you've got Family Guy, which at one point I think went a little too far. And that's why we stopped watching that too. If it takes it to a level where it feels like it's a shock animation, you know what I mean? I won't do it. I don't want it to be a shock thing where I'm shocking you to entertain you, to get you to watch it. And I feel like that's what these other animators are doing right now. You know what I mean?
That is
I
what
want-
they're doing right now.
Yeah.
I'm
So I
gonna be
wanna
honest
keep
with
it
you,
tame.
because
Yeah.
I'm an avid watcher of Family Guy and you know what I mean, and The Simpsons and things of that nature. You know what I mean? But and literally South Park, that one episode had me like, what the, you know, and they definitely go way farther than Family Guy. Family Guy goes pretty far. You know what I mean? So I get what you're saying about, you know, keeping your integrity and keeping your show just like how you set it up to be in the first place. Me and Ruby say the same thing about our show, because I always let her know that, you know what I mean, that right now, you know, as small YouTubers, we get on and we can say whatever the fuck we want. You know what I'm saying? We could talk about whatever the fuck we want, however the fuck we want. But once we get to certain, you know, certain level of subscribers and certain level of people watching us, then there's, you know, there's things that we gotta pay attention to. Like, because I watch a lot of YouTubers. I definitely watch a lot of YouTubers in order to, you know, pick up, you know, little things and tricks in order to make ourselves look better. And one of the things I noticed is that, you know, the bigger YouTubers, the one, you know, with the 100,000 and the, you know, even the 10,000 subscribers, you know, they gotta wait, you know, they gotta wait at least 2 minutes to say a curse word. And high minds over here, our introduction is motherhood, sex, marijuana is a motherfucking building. So we don't know how to not curse in the first 2 goddamn minutes.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes. And, you know, I wanted to ask you something, actually, Kai, since you mentioned you watch Family Guy. That's Seth Now I'm probably going to get, Amanda's going to give me a funny look right now, because I do this every time I'm interviewed on a podcast. You know, here I am promoting some famous guy, right? But hey, we get our ideas from the things we love, from the shows we love, you know, everything that we go from Flintstones to Family Guy. Seth MacFarlane, who creates Family Guy, also creates American Dad. Okay, that's about a CIA agent and his family. Indeed. They got an alien, and it's crazy. Okay,
right.
Now, like any show, for the first,
That's
I think,
an incredible show, though.
I love that show too.
Yeah, me too.
The first season or 2 was a little hard to get into, and then it grew and it grew and it grew. And the great thing is, it grew properly. They didn't get into the aliens' real powers until the 15th season. I mean, really? The 15th season? That's when you pull out. That's so cool. That means that you had good content all the way to the 15th season.
Mm-hmm.
That's
You didn't have to
proving.
pull that card out.
That's right. You didn't have to shock jock. You didn't have to go where Rick and Morty went in the 3rd season. Like, hey, look, we got incest sperm flying around. What the hell?
That was a bit much.
You know,
oh my God.
and that's what I'm saying. What am I?
I've never watched Rick and Morty, so I wouldn't have heard that. I would have switched that right away. Like, inappropriate.
They had dragons in the first, I think it was season 5, maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5. They had dragons, sex dragons. Dragons, I guess, are sexual in one of the portals that they go through. And you got one guy's up there beating off, and that's what they're talking about. And I'm like, man, you know, listen, when it's in every sentence, when literally every sentence is something vulgar, I'm starting to watch your show and think, what's guiding you now, man? Where did you go from this scientist with the nerdy grandson? You know what I mean? And you were like, not the family man. You were kind of like a Doctor Who guy that was a drunk. Okay. Mm-hmm. What happened from your roots to now? Oh, you got that $10 million almond farm handed to you. You made bank, and someone else is probably doing your show now or guiding where your show's going. And that's my biggest examples I use all the time. American Dad and Rick and Morty. Such a difference in how they're progressing. And I think American Dad, like the others, is around forever. And I think Rick and Morty's, I don't know, he's already doing a bunch of other shows, right?
Yeah,
Solar Opposites,
Opposites or whatever.
He jumped into other things way early. So to me, you're just not going to see that from us. You're not going to see that from us. We're going to take our time. We're going to listen like Seth. I'm going to talk to the people watching my show, and I'm going to go, hey, man, what do you want to see in the show? What do you want to be in the show? Let's do a show. You know what I mean? That's the way I am, man. And grow slowly, having fun, you know? No one going, hey, you need to add dildos in there or this and that, so it like shocks the kids.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
You also accept feedback.
Yes, okay, so
Because
that's,
you have
I wanted to
been-
bring that up.
He will accept criticism and advice from viewers and things like that, which I absolutely love. And I think
I
it's
did
smart.
try adding with the stoner chicks, this is heavy. I wanted to have something that meant something. Women in this country and this world get shit on so much, okay?
Right.
That
Mm,
the stoner chicks
yes.
needed to be there. The stoner chicks needed to stand up for women, and they didn't need to just be in the show getting stoned. They needed to be in the show doing something
Powerful.
powerfully, you know, something that meant something. So in the first few times you see them, they stop the comedy and they'll be like, there's been some child sex slavery, or there's been some sex slavery going on, you know what I mean? And this is the guy, we got the lead, let's go get him. And it'll happen. And the guy will go to jail, and then they'll end the conversation. I won't go too far with it, but I made a point. Dan's 420 Chronicles, Dan,
You'll be
I think
doing
watch
it
that
for
one,
the-
and he
No, I
said,
remember that.
he said props for the awareness. But then somebody said on Twitter, now I don't know if this was directed at the show or not, but it was at the same time. So it was a damn close coincidence. I don't think it's funny having in any kind of comedy talk about sex crimes or any kind of child sex crimes. And that hit me. And I went, uh-oh, you know, I've seen it. I have family that's gone through things, not personal like our children, but you know, my family. So, but I never have. And I thought, man, I can't empathize with what these people feel. I was just trying to do something cool. And sometimes when you do something cool, it can feel like you're forcing it on people. You know what I mean? Like, and that's why, as I mentioned, I'm not pushing friend being gay on people because it's natural. It was natural with my brother. You know, he didn't know when he was born. I grew up with him. It took him time to find out he was gay, and then he was gay. You know what I mean? That's how it happened. Right. So, you know, when I had to realize that maybe there are some things in the show I need to leave out or super toned down, so I don't
Perhaps-
offend people that have lived through this experience, this
That's
horrible,
what it
horrible
is.
experience. You know what I
just
mean?
said it right there.
Yeah.
It's
Well-
about perhaps sharing what you know, and you know, because
Compared to what you don't know.
compared to what you just can research. But
Right. I feel bad
I
about
still
it,
think
you know?
I don't regret it. I think that it was still good that you put it in there. But I also appreciate that
Somebody
you
felt,
now
yeah.
have maybe a standard to go off of.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, I did learn something, you know, I learned, but it shows that I listen. If you tell me that you felt something off of my show and it wasn't positive, okay, and I was trying to be positive, then I'm going to change that immediately. I'm going to listen to you because
know
that's why
what?
my show's out there. You know, it's to make you smile and I make you sit. Look, I've been curled up in a room before. I've had people die on me. I've had family go. But I know what this world can do. I've had horrible things happen. I'm not going to live on that. But I know people feel it. And I'm not going to be the one that makes you feel that. That's not going to happen from my show, you know?
You know what? I feel you. But at the same time, I think maybe going forward, you know what I mean? And this is just advice, but going forward, because I feel like this. Certain things, you know what I mean? First of all, things happen for a reason. That's one thing. Things always happen for a reason.
Yep.
And then two, putting out, you know, sensitive subjects, because even with us, one of the things I've even thought about, you know, going forward as far as sensitive subjects when it comes to, you know, children or whatever we talking about, that somebody might take. The first thing I'll do is not only will you know, mention it in the video, like, look, we're having a conversation about sensitive subjects. If this is a trigger, you know what I mean? Let us, you know what I mean? Maybe this is your moment to step away, you know, and at the same time, we'll even include something in the description, you know what I mean? But
As a matter of fact, I've seen Kai do this. Yeah.
But one thing what we won't do is
Compromise.
devise from, you know, putting out what needs to be put out, because at the end of the day,
Right.
it's part of life. It happens.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? It's a subject that happened, and it's part of life. You
And
know
it
what I
still
mean?
I have
happens.
to say
So
thank you.
putting it out there it is necessary, and obviously when you put it out there, that's because that is an important thing to do, to show women, especially women, to
Yes.
show women tackling hard subjects that they
Yes.
actually deal with on a regular basis.
Exactly.
Women do deal with, you know,
Yes.
having children that they gotta they not only are they gotta protect themselves, protect them mentally, spiritually, but they gotta protect their bodies too. I say on a regular basis. I have 3 daughters. Shit, one of my jobs that I had that I got once I became a mother was protecting 3 pussies. I protected, and now the oldest pussy is grown, so she protecting her own right now. But there's the 13-year-old and the 7-year-old. I'm still protecting those pussies. So best
That's right.
so best
I did the same thing.
protection in that protection, you know what I mean, you gotta talk about serious and important and real life subjects, but at the same time be conscious of, you know, the audience that you might trigger, you know what I mean, and have, like, you know, disclosures and shit.
Yeah, you can even make a
you know what I mean, like, yo, if this is a trigger, if there's something that you can't deal with, step away. But
And yeah,
it's real over here.
it is.
Shit over
And
here.
you can also pull from your friends like us that have had encounters of sexual abuse. You know what I mean? Because we do, me and my sisters have experienced being molested by family members. So it's like, but it doesn't, and just because it's a trigger warning and because it might make somebody uncomfortable isn't my problem if I'm addressing it in a way that's relevant and might help someone else.
That's true.
Right.
And I will not apologize for that.
Right, that's true. I thank you both very much for this point of view, because now I can keep doing that, because now I have my own way, as Amanda mentioned, and I absolutely will do that. I could even go as far as having someone come out, walk across the screen and look right into the camera and be like, hey,
time to walk away.
You can't deal. You might want to step away because it's getting real right now.
No, real talk. That's because at the end of the day, the whole focus of those women that you put in that are supposed to be actually, you know, tackling real life issues, the issues are gonna be sensitive. You know what I mean? They're gonna be sensitive. They're gonna be touchy to certain people. And before and literally throwing up a disclaimer or just throwing up somebody saying, hey, listen.
It's very considerate.
Right here is where you can stop watching if this is a subject that, you know, is going to be bothersome to you. And like I said, you can throw that in the description as well, so that the person can not only see it in the video, it's written there. There's nobody to come back and say you didn't warn them. You've been warned. You've been warned. But we will touch on real life subjects, and we will be real in this field.
We love y'all. Keep doing what you're doing. We want to be a part of it too. Hey, who knows? We might be on a network together where it's all marijuana friendly, you know.
Ruby,
and you just never know.
I would like you to be able, you know, your music and everything. We have to keep it. I want to know. I don't want
absolutely.
I want to hear your music, because you know, I had a lot of background music, field music, and I use it from the programs that I pay for, so I don't have to, you know, there's no copyright problems, things like that. You know what I mean? It just makes it easy, right? But it's difficult because I have to piece together different songs throughout the show, and it's much easier when I have some awesome musician,
independent music that gives you permission. It's a mutual beneficial thing. I'm for it. And Kai writes amazing and sexy erotic novels and short stories, and she has some books on Amazon already that'll make the panties wet.
Well, I mean, if I do have to pat my own back, I have to tell you definitely should check me out and give me $1 or $2. I'm just gonna say that. You can check me out and get me $1 or $2. But but make sure, I want to make sure you let the people know exactly, you know, if you have a website, you know, because of course we're going to include all your contact information in the in the what you call it, in the description, and of course we're going to let people know to follow you on Instagram, because we if I remember correctly, we were the ones that gave you the advice to jump on Instagram real quick.
And I took all of it. I followed everybody I could. Well, you know, you have to take your time, but I would sit there every night until Instagram went, hey man, you got to stop doing this for a while. You've been doing this, you know. Well, hey, I got stoned.
Credit is
yep, but I go to Mother and Sex Marijuana, and I hit, you know, whoever they're following. I all their followers. Every one of them followed all of them. They all followed back so far. Yeah.
Of course, because we want to see you grow just like we grow. We not. This is not a competition here. This is all of us, all hands on deck. We all going up at the same time, walking $1 million a year. That's right. But yes, make sure and let people know if you got a website and everything.
Oh yes, it's www.crazytalk419.com, because it's 419. You can't do the colon, but it's www.crazytalk. Wait, see? Got me stoked.
Stop it.
Lord, we high. Lord, we high. We can't say our website. We high.
CrazyTalk419.com, y'all.
We're gonna definitely include it though, because we know what the website is, but you know, we high and shit, and everybody high. And everybody high.
You know, that's why I couldn't wait to meet you ladies. That is exactly why, because we don't get to smoke with people often. So we got to smoke with you, and I love that. Yep, this is the new way.
Hey, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because me and Ruby are on different coasts, you know what I mean? This is how we get together too, you know what I mean? There's few, you know, of course, there's times where Ruby comes to New York City and things of that nature, but you know, but for the most part, this is how we get together and shit. So,
One day.
and we've been sure. As soon as I told her that y'all was going to be on the show, she was like, "Yes, that's our people's right there."
Hell yeah.
The next step is a New York trip. I've always wanted to go to New York.
So. Ooh, let's go.
Yes, I've heard that how you want to come to New York. I'm telling. Well, hey, listen. The best time, I'm gonna tell you right now, the best time to come to New York is around the summertime. I know it's hot, but I'm gonna tell you right now. This is where you get to see all the good, the bad, and the ugly of New York City. And because weed is like popping up everywhere.
I know. You guys got bands and stuff out there. I go and look at Times Square live all the time, and there's like vehicles that are dispensaries and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, that is amazing.
Oh yeah, there are vehicles, there are entrepreneurs with tables.
It's crazy, it's everywhere.
Actually, that's what gave me the idea for one of the skits. One of the skits when I had them, it was Weed Patrol. And when they were gone, they were actually being thanked by a bunch of dealers, and they went to like a marketplace where the vans, all the weed vans parked and put up tables. And I got that idea from Mother and Sex Marijuana, because that's where I saw it.
Thank you. That's dope as fuck. It's our tradition to smoke in Times Square every time we get together out there. So we need to smoke with y'all next time.
Yes.
I'd love that.
Absolutely.
That'd be great.
That.
You know, and best believe the way the way weed is going out here, trust and believe you'll be able to buy damn near the same shit you get at home. But you'll have to figure it out. You'll have to do a little bit of figuring it out yourself, because you know the hood don't really put labels on bags and stuff like that. We don't. No, we sell you a bag and we tell you what it is, and if you smoke it and you get high, it's all good, you know. But if you smoke it and you don't get high, then you just buy for somebody else.
Come on. Back in the day, we went to the baseball field and we just picked up a bag. It didn't have a sticker on it. The guy didn't know the percentage. I don't even think he knew what it was called. He'd go, "It has red hairs, so I think it's Jamaican red."
Descriptive.
You're like, "It's Jamaican red. What is this?" Give me that shit.
It's on trial and error anyway. All of it's trial and error, whether it got a label on it or not. Some of this
Yeah.
shit would be looking good and be whack as fuck.
It's so.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So
Yeah,
wait, is it legal where you are? Wait, because I
Yes.
don't think is it legal where you are?
Yes.
Yes.
completely
Thank God.
recreational.
Good.
Yes.
This is.
Yes.
This is. a
We
grant.
do medical because we can.
Okay.
But and
Yep.
it saves, let me give you this. They pay for recreational, probably 21% tax.
Yeah.
21% total. I think it's like 16 or something like that. And then another bit on there, state and something else. They got nailed recreational. For medical, you only pay, ready? 5.6, I think, or 5. It's crazy. We pay
Oh, shit.
nothing in tax. Yeah. So what you do is you spend $300. It actually comes out lately. It's been like around $250, and you get the card for 2 years. And you save all that money in taxes, which ends up being thousands.
Way
We
more.
added up. We were like,
Worth it.
yeah, we're doing
Oh no,
it.
it's
We're doing it.
absolutely worth it in a
Yeah.
state where the tax on the weed, obviously the reason why the tax on the weed is so high, because that greedy motherfucking state is a greedy motherfucking
Yes.
state.
Yeah.
But we not
Yes.
They regulate
Yes.
it real nice though.
Yes,
get
we do.
really, really good shit. There's never.
Awesome.
Yes, we do.
There's
well, of
never
course the
any
medical shit is
doubt,
some good shit. Of course it is.
bad shit. Nothing. It's amazing. I am extremely
Yeah.
happy.
Ooh, maybe we need to go to Arizona, Queen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we won't lie
yeah.
about
We gotta
that.
visit
I
all
just
the
got an amazing
places.
deal. You know, I got that ounce of weed was $80, and I was like, wait a minute.
The
I'm
hell?
like, wait, that's a $40 half ounce. When I was a kid, well, I wasn't a kid, I was in my 20s, I guess. I paid $40 a quarter, and now there's dispensaries and it's all crazy, but this is $40 a half ounce. And they're
Wow.
saying, if you believe in percentages, it's 20 something percent. So I
Wow,
went and
that's
picked it
not
up, and
bad.
let me tell you, it's for
Yeah.
$80 an ounce. It is just
So
incredible.
pretty.
Let
And
me
look,
tell
this is
you.
what's left. We're kind
Yeah,
of.
what the blunt, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, gee. Enjoy that,
Yeah,
man.
you can tell it works really
I'm
well.
pretty confident that I smoked.
Hey.
Definitely.
So here's something cool for anybody watching that enjoys 419. The second, pretty much after we get off from talking with you ladies, we are going to eat, and then I'm going into the booth and recording a proprietor and friend that's going to be released tomorrow. So they'll see your show in the future, but get to go, yeah, that show you made that day, it was right after their show. Yes.
Oh, that's
I fucking love
awesome.
that.
Yeah. Because how we're gonna do, we're basically shooting our episodes right now to debut our season 4 for September 18th. And we're gonna shoot it, so we're basically shooting episodes right now so that we can have a whole slew of
Yeah,
episodes
yeah.
to lay out after the 18th. This episode is
Yes,
going to be the
sir.
second one
Nice.
that's going to debut. So that'll be on. Let me see. Let me look at the calendar real quick. That'll be on September 25th. So yeah. So by September 25th, so matter of fact, the week before September 25th, we'll send you the link to once we post it on YouTube. And shoot, man, listen, I am so glad. Like literally, we are so hyped that this happened, and never
love
mind the
y'all
fact
so
that we're gonna continue and be part of the show. Because best believe me and Ruby and Merceline, we need to be sitting down like, yeah, let's good, homie. We've been looking to meet you, homie.
Yes.
Any ideas?
You are our biggest fan, and we your biggest fan.
Yes, yes. But this is more, I feel more like a family with you because it's not a business thing. It's a happiness thing.
Yeah.
To make everybody happy and everybody succeed together. So to me, it's a family. I feel like
It's
I'm
rich.
talking to family right now on a Zoom. I do, man. So this is so
Absolutely.
awesome for me. I just can't thank you enough.
Oh, of
Thank you,
course.
and
We thank
family.
for
You guys
making
are the
time for us.
shit.
Any ideas for smoke sessions for,
In the morning. Yeah.
no thoughts for their characters or for them being,
Yep.
I just know that you're always open to other people's creativity.
Everything.
and-
Everything.
But we
That's right.
definitely could
Yes.
could be in one of those, just a suggestion,
See,
because I got ideas on things, but you know, we could definitely be one of these in one of the conversations. We like, yo, we going to get the to you know, whoever is out there, you know, trying to you know, what you call it, trying to keep people in jail or on weed charges, and weed is legal, or we could, or better yet, the part of the because right now in New York City, the cannabis department, they claim they want to give out licenses to the people that are selling weed, because apparently, according to them, all the dispensaries that are opening right now, all the trucks, all the buildings, all the tables, they're all selling illegally. The weed is legal, but we can't buy from them because they're illegally selling weed. So who the fuck you supposed to be buying it from? I don't understand. Wow. And then so, but at the same time, these government people are charging $2,000 to apply for a license that is going to expire in a year and split. So when it splits, it's going to have two different fees, and you know, and you still, and they still haven't figured out the whole tax regulation of how much they want to charge tax people. And then of course, at the same time, the people that they want to give the license to, they want these people to prove that they own a business, they prove that they pay taxes, and prove that they got the startup money for the business. Now, you know, drug dealers don't got no business, no proof of taxes. What you talking about?
Better start saying you cut some hair or something.
A drug dealer was on the corner he was selling a bag of herb, and then all of a sudden you said it was legal, and now he's selling a bag of herb standing next to the police. And now that's a good skit too, because even earlier today, no, that was yesterday. I literally saw, I was walking at Times Square, 34th Street, and there were 3 cops standing here, and a whole table of 3 guys was selling about, I don't know what kind of weed they were selling, but they were this close to each other. Wow. And I was just like, now look at that beautifulness right there. That happened back in the 80s. And it's true. You'd be sneaking past the police smelling like weed. Now you can stand right next to them and smell it and be like, what you gonna do, sir?
That's right.
Nothing. Okay.
Cleaning up.
Which is why they need a free Brittany Garner. Side note.
Yes.
Oh my God! 9 years they gave
her
for a vape pen. 9 years they gave her for a fucking vape pen.
Well, it's just criminal. I can't. It's asinine, and there's no explanation for it. And I'm ashamed that our leaders don't do shit about it.
That is.
I just have to put that out there, because as we are so freely talking about our weed and all of our, you know, all these amazing strains, there are people that are in fact suffering for trying to do the same fucking thing. How right is that? And what sense does that make?
Right. So when I made the legalization show, I sent it to the gentleman that we love, really cool cat, that bred Leela for us. Okay. And I mentioned I was doing a legalization show, and he goes, well, it's kind of funny because weed is legal now. And I'm like, really? See, you got kind of comfortable because it's not legal. It's only legal here, really, and a few other states. And if you think about it, it's tricks. There's tricks to it. You know, the recreational people,
there's so many tricks.
Yeah, so, you know, it's not really fair either what they're doing in any of it. I don't know about Colorado, you know, Denver, get it right and all that. You know, I don't know. I don't really know their politics to see where the money's going, right, to see if it went to the schools as they say it did. But I don't know anywhere else where it went right for the people who want to use it. For the adults and the people that voted for it, where did it really go right? Because this should be grown in every house free, because it's from planet Earth. It's not from planet Republican or planet Democrat or planet freaking Libertarian, whatever, green. It's from Earth. It's ours, it's yours, it's mine, it's hers. It's my dog's if they need it, okay?
Exactly.
A plant.
Exactly.
I have been using the CBD hemp teas lately, and I have an injury, a pretty bad injury that I got a year ago when we moved in here, almost a year ago, 3 days from now. And I have been really just kind of feeling it lately. I built the booth with Amanda, and it was taking a toll. I'm getting older, you know, and I'm thinking I need to start doing What I'm doing for my dog who has seizures, what I do for him, I need to do for me. And that is use the CBD, the hemp we have here. For the last 3 days, I've been drinking the tea and I feel like a totally different person health-wise. It's amazing. And so even
This is
that,
just the hemp.
now
This is
when we
just
talk
CBD.
what's legal, even that, because it's up to the landlord's discretion in Arizona, okay, that's what the prop says, even though it's legal, I cannot grow. I really shouldn't even be smoking in here. They can kick me out. It's on the lease because it's not federally legal, even though I have my medical card. Even though the state says I am fully legal to have my weed, don't buy it. Have a good time. Here you go, man. Here's a sale. We'll help you find the sales. The state, they send me a list of dispensaries. You know what I mean? But I can get kicked out of my place.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
what is legal? And it's never really legal, but it should be. This is our plant. You know, this is
Exactly.
like almost saying that, what is it? Aloe. We put aloe on everything. We say aloe is like a miracle cure. Oh, it's illegal now because they want to make money off it.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not illegal. It's a plant that was here from the earth given to us, you jackasses. Stop
Exactly.
trying to charge us for it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And the same thing here.
Are on the worst end,
And the same thing here, because like I said, it's not the what that's one of the things that we highlight, that at least I definitely try to highlight on the podcast, as far as like with our little YouTube reels and on Instagram, because it's so backwards. It's like some of these places, some of these dispensaries, so they are on, when I say Front Street, they are on big, I'm talking about Manhattan, down the block from Fenty, not Fenty, Louis Vuitton, Balenciaga, all them stores, and you could walk around the corner and buy, and I could buy a nice eighth of Gorilla Glue. Hello, and and you're going to but at the same time you're on the news telling people, oh, that we sent all of those dispensaries cease and desist because they're not supposed to be selling weed, because they're not supposed to be open. But where do you exactly do you expect it to get it from?
Right.
I mean, the plug is going to be what? No.
Right.
No.
Right.
The weed is being sold because money wants to be made. And right now they have no, as far as taxes, they right now in New York City, they have no idea. They're not charging taxes because they don't know what the rate is, because they haven't charged the rate. So therefore, it's almost to the point where when they decide things, they might, then decide to try to close down all the places that are open. Right. But at the same time, look here, it's New York City. The hustler going, what? People gonna be on the corner like, what?
It's kind of wild. The two.
It's $90 for this eighth. It's $90 for this eighth. You want it? I mean,
wow. It is so different between the two, because we grew up in South Florida, so we grew up near the deep South. We know people, Georgia, other Kentucky. This is South. We're in the Civil War. This is South, but I was born in the North, Connecticut. Okay, so I had my family, my Italian family, even my Irish family was in Connecticut North. Okay, so which is where you had your first colonists coming over from everywhere else, was New England, the North. Those were first, whatever they were, that was them. Okay, here out west, it's just like you hear in the video games and the movies you saw back in the day. It's not Southerners. Okay, these aren't Southerners out here. The base out here was not Southerners. This was everybody trying to get the fuck away from the East Coast, whether they were North or South. You guys got your little, now it's East, West Coast, right? It was North and South. That's all they had, right? So what they did is they came from everywhere. They were everybody. It's a huge mix. So I tell my daughter, when I look at Arizona, when I look at especially Phoenix, okay, they're so different the way people are out here. It's like being on a DS9 space station. There's all those aliens. They weren't just humans. It was almost more aliens than it was humans. That's Arizona. That's Arizona, man. It is such a mix of people. They say when Einstein got off the boat, I think in New York City, I think that's what he was amazed about. He went, the fact that so such a diverse crowd of people back then could work together, okay, and make these
Beautiful.
cities work like this. And they're not, these aren't like, you know, all one, they are everything. There's Italians, there's everything is here, man. It's a mix, okay? And they're making this work. Well, when that started falling apart, you know, when that grew and they started all their crap all along the East Coast from north to south and went through their stuff, all those people that came out here, I'm telling you, if you have an experience, I don't know if Oregon is this, I would think it is. I would think Oregon, if you like it there, that's probably why, because they're that kind of people. They're from everywhere. They learned, you know, that in the Old West, everybody had to get along. Anybody that had these notions of politics using, like, say, racism against us, or even capitalist things we like, it didn't work out in the West like it did on the East Coast. Trains coming into your land. They welcomed trains on the East Coast when they were first invented. They had to fight people to get land out here to get, you know, to put their trains on, because the politicians weren't winning. They weren't winning out here like they were the East Coast. You see what I mean? So it's so interesting to me when I look at the things I've learned about the times then, okay, and to now, and what I'm hearing you say, Kai, you know, and telling me about New York City, and then what we deal with out here, it's so wild, because you can see the people that I'm talking about from back then and what they've really become, what they're doing to us, man. You know what I mean? The ones that are involved, the leaders that are involved, yeah. The repercussions of what took place back then is still affecting us in our marijuana right now, in our homes, and what's legal and what's not. That same crap, man. It's mind blowing. It really is. But as you were telling me about the situation with those people trying to sell it, that's where my mind went. So, wow, that blows my mind. Out here, we just don't have it that bad, I guess. You see what I mean? Because of the fact that we are,
on the West Coast, y'all have it together.
Yeah.
On the West Coast, y'all got it together. It's
guess we
definitely together and
Well,
set with regulation, and you know what I mean, like you know what I mean, like one of the things I talk about is, you know, going into a store and they're telling you it's a 3.5, and then you take it home and hit it on a scale, and it's not a 3.5.
right,
You know what I mean?
right.
Like,
That does not
where
happen.
on the West Coast, it has to be a 3.5. Like,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
ain't a 3.5, you getting shut the fuck down.
And you guys-
We not at that. We definitely not at
Well,
that.
you were talking about them not even to, you know, like whether they can even really sell or not, or how, there's none of that out here. I mean, I get in my car. I
Exactly.
come home with the big bag. I'm all smiling like I just went to Macy's of fucking weed. I'm like, hey, I could afford it this week. Check this shit out. I want to show you that. I'm walking with it on the outside. And then I hear that and I'm like, that really sucks. But it did remind me. It threw me back. Well, this is how long we've been having these damn problems. We need to end them, because the stuff we're talking about is ours. We own it. Why are we fighting for it?
It's not
You
like
know?
anybody creates it. It's not like a product. It's not
Right.
something that's trademarked. It's nothing. It's
No,
something
this
that's
isn't
that's
cocaine.
grown.
This
It's
isn't
like
meth.
food,
This
for
isn't
that
in a
matter.
lab.
So it should be sold.
Right.
That's our God-given right.
We can teach
Yeah.
our children how to grow it just like we can carrots or anything else.
Yeah.
You can teach your children how to grow it easily without putting anything in it. You can grow it in water. You can grow it in dirt. Might fight it a
And
little bit.
rocks, yeah.
It's so easy to
Yes,
grow,
I
you
love
know,
the
yeah.
way.
They found it, what, on asteroids, I think? They've mentioned that they found traces of cannabis on asteroids. So that just makes you think, you're really charging us and fighting us for something that's been here longer, far longer than we have, you know? That's like fighting the
Right.
trees. Now you're going to start fighting the tree. You can't have that tree. We got to tax you for that tree. Why?
Right.
What are you
The
make us
air-
pay for the
air-
oxygen
Yeah.
coming off of that tree? You
Right.
know?
It's just,
That's how bad
it's
been
never
getting.
gonna be fair. I think the magic in this matrix is learning the rules so that we know how to break them. Because I'm never going to let somebody dictate whether I can smoke weed or whether I can
Good for
fuck
you.
or whether
Good for
I
you.
need to do what I got to do with my body and my uterus. And
Yeah.
so I'm just going to go to where I can get away with that. The world is very vast. And I think that it's been said before that rules are for poor people. And that sounds very harsh,
I
but it's
know.
very true in a sense.
Yep.
But because we care, I mean, it's not like we all share this in common where we don't measure our success or our worth to material things. But in this matrix, it's, there's a point to what I'm saying, you know what I mean? And so it's like now with our creative juices, it's like we're going to and set our family and our tribe and our generations up to where we, instead of being like, damn, this sucks, it's like, now we're running dispensaries despite what the fuck the US got going on over here. And how are we doing? Or how are we not, maybe not a dispensary, but how are we in the industry? How do we monetize off of this amazing culture that's bigger than us all, this plant that's bigger than us all? And how do we monetize? Because I told myself when I was a teenager, I want to get paid for smoking weed. And I mean that.
Yeah.
And eventually people are just going to be asking us to smoke their weed and tell us if it's good or not. Why the fuck not?
Right. I'm totally.
So that's, it's not about buying material things. It's not about buying wealthy things, doing expensive things. It's doing what the fuck you want. That's true wealth. And that's the American dream that I think we definitely owe to ourselves. So we paired up with there's a lovely name by the name, a lovely woman by the name of Nia Talley. She's moving to DC and she is studying the law, and she's studying how and creating an organization where we can give money back, not only to bail people out of these fucking horrendous misdemeanor charges regarding marijuana, but also transitioning them into society, job placement, or, how to build a resume, basic things. And I think it's one of the most humane things that we can do, especially because something's so fucked up. So I think the question needs to be, what are the solutions with this fucked up system that we're never going to beat, because it's already years of needing to play out, right? Or centuries.
Word.
Yeah.
And not to mention also, we also have a partnership with a new cannabis magazine called Fuego magazine, and it's a all women owned magazine, and definitely one of the subject matters that we talk that's going to be talked about on the magazine is such things like this, because again, in a cannabis community, things like this are very important to us.
And you want to talk being in your own little world, as far as you being open-minded now that there's still states having and struggling, right?
Yeah.
I know that in Arizona, there was some people that were released once it was changed in the laws, it was made recreational. They did all kinds of, and that made it okay in my mind. It's like, immediately like, okay, we fixed it and moved on, and it's not the case. There's still
we didn't learn until we started the show. Everything. I'm telling you, the show really opened my eyes. It has brought me, I was in this box. And if, now I know Kai Storm and Ruby Dolphin Mother and Sex. Come on. So it just shows you how big things got for me. And I'm out there in the world and the internet, I'm talking, seeing things, and I'm learning. There are people that come to me immediately and they follow me and they go, in my country, there's somebody in jail for 20 years because he had a joint, you know what I mean? And we need your help and stuff. If you can show this, I'll retweet it, and then I try to use Weed Patrol to those 1 minute skits. I've tried to use that to use that scenario, any type of scenario where it's just horrible laws for marijuana, where people are suffering just to get what they need, their medicine. And I want to do it Weed Patrol. It got to be, again, where you have to be so careful about how heavy you get talking about that situation. But now speaking with you, you have taught me so much about how I can go about this.
Oh yeah, because the subjects, these subject matters have to be discussed, and that's one of the things that'll help us grow, in the fact that we are not, shying away from what's important in our community, what's going on in our community.
That's right.
You know what I mean? What's affecting us all in our community. You know what I mean? We definitely got to talk about it and to put it out there, to use our platform, you know what I mean, to put light on this, to shed light on stuff like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I'm tired of crooks and fucking evil demons getting away with shit. Sex offenders are part of that equation, and these fucking greedy ass politicians. So why then? And this is so much more different. When we were talking about Rick and Morty and all that shock factor shit, this ain't no shock factor shit. This is real motherfucking
real life, right? Yeah,
exactly. So kudos to you. for having the bravery. And we unfortunately are not going to please everybody.
Right.
And it's really dope that you would even listen to that feedback, because that shows humility. There's only a certain amount of feedback that I'm willing to listen to, but that's just me, because I feel like my intentions are good, so that's good enough for me. And if I offend somebody, then do the human thing and be like, yo, Rue, you offended me by saying this specific shit, and I'll explain myself, or I'll apologize if an apology is warranted. And that's on a personal level.
Oh, absolutely. We, but one of the things we focus on, and we absolutely harp on when we do our show, is that shit is real over here. Yes. Everything discussed over here is real. Everybody that comes on our show is going to be real people. And we expect nothing else. You know what I mean? Yes, there'll be disclosures. There'll be, PSAs, but at the end of the day, nobody's going to shy away from what's going on in our life. You know what I mean? One of the things we talked about that's very sensitive is, children and CPS. That whole, child protective services, they love to jump on weed smokers, and the fact is that this is a space that we can talk about, where we can say, hey, if you're not a prepared mom when it comes to these situations, this is what you need to do to get prepared, so that when these fuckers come at you, you know how to battle back and stand firm in your situation. That pot does not make you any way, shape, or form a bad parent. Pot allows you to make sure that everybody around them stay alive, because look here, if I ain't high, somebody gonna die. If I ain't high. Oh, okay, but I'm just saying.
Listen,
it allows me to have patience with you.
I'll tell you a scenario. I'll tell you a scenario that we've gone through many. Raising two daughters, we've gone through many scenarios. All right, so you understand that, Kai? Okay. So, or unfortunately, you might, but that's like for daughters, right? You're women, you all know this. Anyway, now there's technology. It's really different. And one of the times with Zoe, what was I going to say? Damn it, that's weed for you.
Bye.
Yeah, I had that thought too. Damn, I had a good thought. I wanted to tell them about it. What was Kai saying again? Tell me. I don't want to have to rewind it.
Man,
it's all good.
What were you saying on it? It was on your point though, and I really wanted to tell you a story about
CPS and women.
The girl. Thank you. What's her name? What's that young Sierra? What's her name?
Paris's friend.
Was Sierra?
Her name was
okay,
Sierra.
Thank you. She reminded me of this, but I need to tell you this. So I raised two daughters. I understand. I always understood from the beginning of time what people go through if they're going through some type of oppression. Doesn't matter where they come from. I get it.
Right.
There are always people going to oppress other people in humankind, it seems like, okay? So I told my daughters, they see me as this hero kind of dad, because whenever someone's in trouble, seriously, people walk down the street in our old neighborhood because I took down a meth dealer using the police departments. But it wasn't something I reached out for. If it were there, I did what I was supposed to, okay? So she calls me from her friends somewhere. She was coming home from school. I have a friend, she has nowhere to live. I said, what do you mean she has nowhere to live? Well, she's in the system, like CPS took her away from her for staying with the foster parent. And she's got nowhere to live because the foster people are really mean to her, and she doesn't want to be with them. She wants to be with her mom and reconcile, but no one's really working towards that, And I go, Paris, I can't.
This was heavy.
Her dad is dying of cancer. I'm like, wow. I'm like, I can't really do this right now, baby girl. Next thing you know, they're knocking on the door, right? So now it's on my front door. And when I say it's a problem. It's real life. This is real happening right now, and you're dealing with it. Yeah, this is another mouth to feed. I had already, while we were on the phone, put together, because I do the budget while she's building a career, right? I'm already putting together everything, what this is going to take. And this young girl just knocked on my door, and now I can't send her away.
Right.
Because this is a young girl at my door. So now it's too late. Now the conversation's over. Now it's happening.
Yeah.
So now I have CPS calling me, and it's her caseworker. And he says to me, do you have this young girl here? And I go, I absolutely do. And he goes, all right, I want you to bring her to the police department. She's to be arrested. I go, whoa, whoa, whoa. Go back to what, did you just say you want me to bring this, 13-year-old girl or whatever to the police department because she has nowhere to live and didn't like where she lived and be arrested? Yes, sir, because she left her. I go, stop. She's staying at my house tonight. You can come here with the military. I got a dying veteran who served the Army and the Navy. He's an old Texan in the room, okay? There's a note on my door that the police respect because they know me because I've taken down meth dealers, all right? I'm like, we're not gonna do this, little CPS man. This isn't gonna happen your way because no matter what you come at me with, you're not leaving with this girl tonight. She's going in with my daughter. She's gonna lay down in the bed. She's gonna get a good meal and she's gonna have a wonderful evening. Now, in the meantime, I was growing weed illegally in this house we were renting.
Oh.
So, I have to be careful. Okay. I also took
Yeah.
out the meth dealer. The meth dealer knows what I'm doing. I don't need, it could hurt the little girl too and what she's got going on. You know what I mean?
Right.
So now I'm really balancing all of a sudden right here. So next morning, I bring her to the police department. The cop takes her in. She's back with me the next night. And I have her for I think until it was Thanksgiving that year. Okay. We built her. She was talking to her mom again. She would tell our oldest daughter, I love you, Paris. If you see this baby girl, I'm just telling what happened. All right. You can tell your side. Anyway, she was telling our daughter, who was a teen at the time, having teen angst problems, things like that. I can't believe you don't like your parents. They're amazing people. What the hell is wrong? Blah, 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 that kind of thing. Right.
Right.
We're taking care of this girl. And after she's been staying with us for a while, she looks at me one day. She's like, it kind of looks like you're on meth the way you go bugging out on the window all the time. You're always looking out the window like you're worried. It was the weed I was growing. And it was because I wanted to take care of her. So I went, that's bothering you. I took a pair of scissors and I walked in, I cut off 5 plants right there, killed them. Didn't give a shit how far along they were, didn't care if I lost anything. That little girl seeing me like that and it bothering her after I had taken care of her already for 2 weeks or whatever, and it being positive and her seeing something negative for 1 second, then I lose. Chop. Garbage. There you go. You're never going to see me walking up to the window again. She goes, You didn't have to do that for me, man. I said, I didn't do it just for you. Now my sanity is back in a sense as well, and I can think a little more clear on the subject. They switched out her case manager. She was supposed to get, if you know anything about CPS cases, she was supposed to get money for taxis because we didn't have the money to get her downtown. It's pretty far. It's a big city, okay? So we got to get her downtown. They're supposed to give us money. They wouldn't. I call the caseworker. I go, look, it's Thanksgiving. She's got to go to court. She's been helping us buy and make this dinner. She's been working with me specifically making Thanksgiving dinner. Okay. I need you to get this girl the money. I have no gas in my car. I cannot carry her down to the courthouse. The judge told me specifically when he called me, the great dad, which is ridiculous. All dads should be great. But anyway, aside of that, okay. When the judge told me that, he said, you're supposed to be paying this, man. So pay the gas money. I don't like the way you're talking to me. Have her down here back at CPS tomorrow morning. Thanksgiving morning, mind you, I think it was.
Wow.
She would help us set up.
They have some of them people don't have no feelings.
Such a creep. So I said, this was a young woman. She's telling me, I said, you want me to take this girl? She helped plan this Thanksgiving dinner. You want me to take her down right now? Right now, our police officer, I'm not even playing with you, sir. Oh, really? You want to play this game? All right. I dealt with judge. Fine. I'm going to teach you a lesson now because my great-grandfather was a brown man that the white man didn't like. Okay. And so they kept him out of the lieutenant governor's mansion and made him take being a superior court judge. So I know judges. All right. And I know how to talk to them because of this brown man that didn't allow a white man to push him around. They got their little edge on him, but that's my great uncle. That's right. I love that man. Taught this world a lesson. He taught me what to do in a situation, and I did it for that young lady. And I used the judge against him. I walked her in on Thanksgiving Day. I said, police officer, sheriff, watch that little girl, make sure she doesn't go anywhere. And I walked in and said, is so-and-so this young lady available? They said, no, she's in a meeting, blah, blah, blah. I said, let her know that Sierra so-and-so is here because she told me to turn her in. The next day I got a call from the young lady. I think it was the next day. She was like with her mom again, I think. The lady from CPS got fired.
Good. She wasn't cut out.
I stood up, man. I stood up to the system.
As you should.
Okay. This isn't going to happen because I saw this. I know what this world does. I've seen this in my own family. I've seen this. I've lived this. And right now I'm taking a stand, just like I always have when I'm an adult. I've taken stands, and I'm doing it again for this young girl. And she's back with her mom, man. And now, of course, she's older than 18, probably out on her own. But, you know, I'm proud of that moment. I'm proud because at first I was terrified. Can I do this? But CPS is so terrible. And the way they were dictating things and the way they were trying to treat this young woman and handle it their way, I went, wait, Michael, remember who you are. Remember your background.
Exactly.
You remember what you learned, and you use this the proper way. Don't walk in there punching. Don't walk in there like you own the place. You walk in there and you do what the law says to do. And then you tell the other law what that law did. And that's what I did. And the judge, the big law, stood up for what's right. Stood up for her. So there you go, man.
As you should.
I really do understand when you talk about this. When I watched your episode, that was the episode I chose, the first one. After all the episodes I've watched now, your first one I watched was that one on CPS, because that hit home immediately because of Sierra. So Sierra, if you're watching, that's how much I care about you.
Definitely appreciate
Shout out
that.
Sierra.
Another
And fuck
problem
this
with that-
system, man.
Another issue that I found with it, and I'll be brief, is with how the kids are treated themselves. I think that because she ran away or whatever, they ended up getting to where she had to get drug tested all the time. They just treated her like a juvie, you know what I mean? Like someone that had created,
Yes.
correct, someone that had
Wards of the state.
and just for being a troubled teen, and you know.
And no, actually, she just couldn't get along with her mom.
Yeah,
that's
and her
so
mom, I
common.
think her mom was also like on some heavy stuff at the time.
Right.
Like, couldn't really be a mom. So she was
Right.
just in a really bad spot
Right. Yeah.
in her life. But that to me did not give them
The right.
the right
No,
to
treat her
talk
bad.
down to
Yeah.
her the way they did.
I want her
Treat
arrested.
them the way
You want
they
someone
did.
like this young girl got no mom. She wants to be with her mom.
Yeah.
And her mom
wanted
has all
to be
these
together.
problems. And you want her arrested. And this is who they hire. You know, I wrote a letter about Paris. I was having problems with my oldest daughter and wrote a letter, because I write pretty well when I have word. And I wrote a well thought out letter. It took me, I think, days, and sent it to CPS about my oldest daughter. About 3 months later, they had us checked out
Investigated.
because of that letter. That was an adult abuse type letter, because we just wanted to see if adults could get help with a teenager that maybe could go out of hand. Okay. Instead, they came after us, had us investigated. So we went through an investigation. It was a 22-year-old guy walked in my house. I looked him in the face. I go, "Do you have any children, sir?"
Exactly.
Exactly. Most of these people don't.
Exactly.
And have no clue.
You have
said,
no
"Did you read the
clue
letter?"
or
Yeah.
no
Or-
idea what the hell I gotta do to deal with my situation. Yes, indeed.
believe
Best
it.
believe I get it. And again, that's one of the reasons
Our
why we
oldest-
talk about it, because it's happened to me. It happened to Ruby, and it's like, and it's definitely a worry in a mom's, just in general, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you know, when you take your kids to school, they'll you know, they have signs all over the place that if they see something, they say something. And it's happened in my situation where it's just like you thought you saw something, but you didn't really see anything.
Right.
And then you
Right.
calling people, and then there's a whole investigation, and then come to find out they find nothing. They find nothing, and then you wasted their time, and and now these people have my name on some kind of record, because of course
Right.
they keep
Right.
records.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
It's like legal human trafficking. It's kind of like the same
Yeah.
principle. Someone's making money off of your kid's life.
Right.
And it's it's a terrifying thought. And I don't care how good of a parent you think you are, it could happen to any one of us, because
It
this
can.
system is designed to fuck shit up. And
Yeah.
that's just what it is. People
Right.
could lie on you.
Yeah.
And I won't rely on the system. I'm sorry for anybody out there, and I normally don't get political and stuff, but I will not go to the government for help. I will not. I will die first, because it's
It's
crap
too
what they
much.
put you through. It really is. When we were going through hard stuff and I tried, they paid money for the food card to be sent to us. That card costs money. People print it, goes through a machine. came to my house. And they said, you get $0.00 a month. I called them up and I said,
So we got approved.
you sent me
for
this
0.00.
card for food for my family and I get zero. Why did you make this card? And they go, well, just in case we ever feel like giving you something. I'm like, you can
Unless you
take your
qualify-
card and shove it up your ass.
Exactly.
Unless you qualify
Exactly.
in the future and decide to reapply
Right,
or
right.
something like
It was
that.
just so
It
ridiculous.
is.
I went,
That's
because you
stupid.
were accepted. We were totally approved, but for 0.00. So that was their loophole. You were approved. You can't fight it because you were actually approved. You're just, again.
I
shit.
think that it was right. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's they make it about numbers
It was
basically.
20 years ago too, so I
Yeah.
don't think the system was even working right at that point. From what
It
I
was a long
understand,
time ago.
nowadays, since everything's gone remote in Arizona anyway, it's made it a lot
But
easier to reach out for certain assistance with.
Is
For
that-
your dad's
Understand.
sake, I would like to bring up another major point in all this is veterans should not get screwed like they get screwed. Her father, when he was dying of cancer, who got his Social Security money, normally, we went to the government and found out that Ken had served in the Army on a top secret mission during Vietnam War over the south of Cuba. Her dad did that. Okay. And we didn't know that. He never told us that. It's top secret. He never even told us after he was out of the military. And this crap doesn't even matter. That's how good this guy was at keeping secrets. We found out later. You were active in wartime, bro. And he's like, wow, look, you're dying of cancer. The government owes you. They owe you. Okay. So forget just VA. Let's go look at pensions. So we do. We go to the guy downtown and I fill out 20 to 30 forms because that's the way the government is. It's like Arlo Guthrie says, you got to go through all that government crap. And then the guy looks at us and goes, wow, Ken gets $1,500 extra a month because he was active in wartime. But he'll be dead before it comes through and we don't give back pay on it, on the pensions. So he got his pension, but he'll never get his pension. He'll be dead.
Wow.
And I went, wow, man, he needs that money to live now, to have treatments. And, it would help get him better treatments because that's how you guys work.
Right.
To cure cancer, you got to have money. You can't.
Big time.
It's a business,
Big time.
Yeah, and he fought for, this guy did top secret crap for you. He was willing to give his life and you can't back pay. All right. So veterans, I feel for you, brothers and sisters. I feel hardcore for you, especially if you were in the time of war. By the way, make damn sure that if you got a pension coming, you ask for it right away because they're not going to tell you about it. They will not offer it to you. It will never just show up in the mail that they owe you a pension. Make sure. Ken was not a greedy man, and he came from oil. He didn't have money, but he knew money before it was gone. He was away from it, so he wasn't greedy. He never went to the army and said, "You owe me this." He just figured, that's the way it worked.
He just figured that he would get paid, and he didn't. But.
And
then this was a great show, yo. Honestly, this was a great time.
Hey,
And we really appreciate you coming on. We absolutely can't wait to contact you about getting our voices on. Of course, Ruby's we're gonna definitely get her music over. And we just we're so excited about this episode, and we're so excited about season 4 because season 4 is going to be great.
Definitely.
Like I said, soon as it's going to come, it's coming through the door with nothing but hot shit, and you're part of the hot shit. And just for being our fans, we thank you so big, and we are a big fan of yours, just like you're a big fan of ours.
I love.
And now we're fam.
You know what I mean? And now we're fam. And
Well,
on that note, Motherhood Sex Marijuana in the motherfucking building.
Report 19.
Report 19.
Thank you.
All right.